guilty of crime.
Hello, everybody. What's up? We're back. I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and today we're talking about Kei'Mani Latigue. You guys know the story. You guys know what happened. It's very covered locally. There's so much local news and many local creators, which I'm so glad for. But I can probably do 2 or 3 of these episodes. This little girl was almost decapitated by her father, you guys. He took her hands, and the family's fighting over the body. All right, so we're going to remember Kei'Mani Latigue. Her funeral was last week, and literally the family is fighting over her body, and it's a cash grab, guys. It's a cash grab. People don't deny that. They're all trying to put up different kinds of GoFundMe and things, and whoever gets custody of her body gets the money. All right. So today, Kei'Mani Latigue, if you guys were here for the first episode, we talked about what happened. We'll go ahead and do a recap and an all-in-one today. Cheryl says, awesome, caught alive, been following the case. Michigan here, Toledo's 45 minutes away. You're welcome. You're welcome. I don't know if any of you that are local were able to attend any of the community events. But man, this little girl nobody deserves that. No little girl deserves that, guys. Nobody does. But this little girl, you can't look up and find anything bad about her. In the Naziah Harris case, unfortunately, everywhere you still look, you see Naziah's her social media being retreaded, and people are saying she was fast, and all the conversations with Naziah and her abuser, they all surfaced, and you can see that she thought she was in a relationship with her abuser. In this case, Kei'Mani Latigue was trying to focus on school and basketball, and she wasn't trying to be fast. She wasn't trying to have boyfriends, and look at what happened. And the family seems like vultures. Now, today, I did reach out to a lady named Stormy, and I'm going to tell you what her comments are. She did not want to go online, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her one bit with the people on here. YouTube's okay, but you guys, what's up, man? How you doing? Rosie, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Mods, Foxy, Sea Life, One Love, Revolutionary. You guys, trigger warning. Yeah, for today's topic. And if I didn't say, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. You never know when we're going to do giveaways, especially with these mods. We love you. All right, Eve from LV, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. All right, well, we should get into it. Hi, everybody. Let's start rolling. I know people are going to roll in and say, man, I'm late, but you know what? We're going to start off with the community and seeing her being honored, because that's what we're here for. What's up, Andrea? Good to see you, my friend, and Tony, and everybody here that supports the channel. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all. It's so great to have such a good support group here. we're coming up on 24,000 subscribers, and I love it. I love the support that we have now. Community mourns Kei'Mani public memorial. So I want to go over this so that we're not just always, talking about all the bad things, but it will get graphic sooner or later. I love that. No bad vibes here. I wish everywhere was like that. All right, Rachel says she got gifted a membership. Sweetie's here. Bev's here. What's up, guys? Chatterbox, good to see you. I have not heard from Wyatt. I haven't seen him around. Maybe he's busy with school. I don't know. But if we see Melanie, let's ask her. All right, let's take a look at what happened on Friday here with Kei'Mani. All right, let's take a look.
Kei'Mani Latigue went missing last month, only for police to find her body days later in an abandoned, burned-out East Toledo house. Her father is accused of her murder and is currently in jail in Columbus. He was shot during an arrest, but today was about the opportunity for the community to pay its respects. And tonight, we have team coverage. Steve Iwanek had a chance to talk to a number of people who took time out of their day to be there. And Andre Norrells, he talked to one Toledo City Council member and a couple of community members about how we move forward from this tragedy. But tonight, we begin our team coverage with Steve. Steve, understandably, again today, a lot of emotion for this little girl.
Yeah, Jeff, the community members that I spoke to all shared the same thought. Kei'Mani's.
And I want you guys to see the way this case is portrayed. What's up, Edith? Good to see you, my friend. I've been seeing you in chat. I just haven't I haven't got to say hi because chat's been flying. So it's really nice to have a low-key day, not just crazy, mass amount of people. I love when we get back to the old school. Yeah, this is a heartbreaking case, but I want us all to remember how they mourned her. The public view of this case, you guys, the public view is much different than what's actually happening, which we're going to get into. There's a lot of misconceptions in this case. For you, those of you that are new to this case, this happened last month, and this little girl didn't deserve what she got. We're going to do a recap here. This happened in Toledo, Ohio. All right, Toledo, Ohio, and we'll catch you up. Stay in here. Stay in here, guys.
His life ended too soon, and amidst the frustration and the heartache, many were grateful that they had a chance to say goodbye.
I didn't know her personally, but I know that she was a very special little girl.
You didn't have to know her to love her. That was a shared feeling at Friday night celebration of life for Kei'Mani Latigue.
I think it's really beautiful what the community has done for this little girl.
We watched it play out over the last several weeks as hundreds showered the house where her body was found with flowers and balloons. Claudia Godi and Andrea Cavazos didn't know Kei'Mani either, but knew they had to be here at the West Toledo YMCA, hosting a public memorial for hundreds to say goodbye.
I'm 30 years old. I think this is probably has to be one out of maybe the many times I can count on my hands of a horrific thing happening in our community that's brought the entire community together.
As guests went inside, a table to leave a card. And from there, Kei'Mani's casket took center stage inside a large auditorium, surrounded by flowers. Her name adorned in lights, reminding the public why they were here.
If you a true Christian.
All right, so let's go back to this picture real quick. That was her, you guys. She was 13 years old. So this is another forever 13. Now, Kei'Mani's birthday was Friday, March 28, 2025. Her favorite color was red, which I'm wearing today. She went missing from Toledo, Ohio on March 18th. Today we're in April 16th, so almost a month. Now, a warrant for her father's arrest was issued, and we saw how that played out. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to get into this, and then I'll tell you the story. We're going to totally recap this, so don't worry, okay? Don't worry, guys. You'll hear about it all today. All right, just remember, you guys say a prayer for that beautiful little girl. And, I mean, there's a lot of children that it's happening to right now. I don't know why people are doing this. I don't know why people do half the stuff they do, guys. If you believe in end of time stuff, then you believe things are getting worse and worse. And the only thing we could do is be a voice for these people and families, the victims that no longer have one. and spread awareness. But she did not deserve this. None of these children deserve this.
We're here.
If you a true Christian like I am, you let God take care of it all. God will take care of it all.
Siobhan Glover knows what it's like to lose a child. Her daughter died of a drug overdose last year and says grief doesn't need permission, but it does need space.
Because it's going to leave nothing but pain in your heart for the rest of your life. And it has to be that type of way to get this problem solved.
And heartbreak has no age.
When I seen when she died, I couldn't believe it.
13-year-old Alonze Richardson was one of Kemani's former classmates. When he remembers her, it's not just the tragedy, but also the smile and her spirit.
She was a good person, and like everybody wanted to get to know her, and she like played basketball, and she loved boxing.
Now, in light of her death, many questions have been raised surrounding the circumstances about Kemani's death. So that brings up the question, what happens from here? And Andre, I know you talked to a lot of community members as well.
Did you guys know? Now, I know you guys are following the case with me. I don't know if you're watching it out there, but did you guys know that the grandma was originally, or should I say initially, charged, and they're still looking at her as the grandma and the family and her mom that wasn't even in her life to a big extent, fighting over her body. Her grandma was arrested, and she's the one that's out there in church fighting for it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense how this stuff happens. It's kind of like, we're looking at Jen Soto, we're looking at her through suspicion, right? But yet she makes the decisions to cremate Maddie and decisions for what goes on with the ashes, etc. So it's really weird. It's really weird how they go about that, how laws work.
Tonight. So what do they want to see moving forward out of this case?
Well, Steve, there's been a lot of talk with city, county, and state politicians about this case and calls for action from the community. I want to speak with any elected official who came tonight and ask them what's next.
This has really been bothering me since I have found out about it.
Michelle Smith isn't alone. Many people are grieving and searching for answers.
The poor child reached out to people at her school, and for CSB to fail her, it's just sad. It really is.
WTO 11 has spoken with several people who say there were concerns about abuse in Kemani's home. Following her death, a task force has been formed to investigate Lucas County Children's Services.
It should not have happened, and we need to find out why.
That's Toledo City Councilman George Sarantu. He's been vocal at council meetings, demanding answers from Children's Services.
We have to get to the bottom of this, so I'm here today to pay my respects and eagerly await the results of an investigation and hope that it is thorough and truthful.
During a news conference earlier this week, Lucas County Children's Services Executive Director Randy Muth defended its system of checks and balances.
We have no record of any call from a mandated reporter or community member for an entire year prior to her murder. We have no record of anyone from Toledo Public Schools ever calling us with respect to Kmani. We have no record of anyone calling us ever with concerns about Darnell Jones.
Sarantu was the only elected official we saw during the 3-hour walkthrough ceremony. However, a letter from Councilwoman Sosandra McPherson was displayed. She too has spoken out, specifically when it comes to demolishing abandoned properties in Toledo. Sarantu says both city and county leaders will need to act, depending on what the investigation reveals.
We need to make changes in our laws and procedures and regulations, so be it.
He says this case won't get swept under the rug.
I'm not forgetting it. We've got to get to the bottom of this. We've got to have prevention.
Now, I hope they really mean that, guys, because this is out there right now, but there were so many people that said something. There were so many people that CPS was called several times. I'm reading the notes right now from the neighbor that used to feed Kei'Mani when she would get locked outside from her family that is now fighting to get the money for her body, you guys. And it's sad. She came over there looking for Pop-Tarts in the morning because she was kicked out and she couldn't get in for food. But these vultures are trying to get her remains and get the money from the GoFundMe's. I just don't believe that the change is going to be made that these people say. And you see these passerbys on the news saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." but that same stuff is happening right in their family, right in the house next door to them, in their house. I just don't believe it. I don't believe a lot of what they're saying here. All right. Yeah, the grandma. We're gonna get to that next, right after this clip. You'll see. We'll start off with that one, so you can see what happened and some of the misconceptions, and then we'll get to the updates
in place, prevention measures in place, so this doesn't repeat itself.
All right. So we're gonna
Only underway with the help of Lucas County commissioners, but we're told that this task force won't be looking into Kemani's case specifically, but into LCCS as a whole. Reporting in West Toledo, Andre.
LCCS as a whole means nothing. It doesn't mean that they're going to do anything. It just means, oh, we're going to look into it. So now we're going to take a look at this. And then once you see this clip and the misconceptions here, you're going to say, wait a minute, why is that even happening? All right, why is that even happening? Now, this is evidence provided by Kemani's grandmother that she helped Darnell take the life of Kei'Mani, and she's the biggest speaker. She's the biggest person. She was awarded custody, guys. After you realize that she was awarded custody, and I tell you about their neighbor Stormy. Now, Stormy did not want to be, or she didn't want her face on here, but she answered some really good questions, and I'm not going to read all of them because, like, it gets. I would rather have heard it from her. I just didn't have time to. We were missing each other on a phone call. But the neighbor says that Kei'Mani was a light in the world. This lady says she was going through a lot with her kids and the father, but she could always tell if Kei'Mani could tell if this neighbor was upset, and she would do silly things to make her laugh. She loved dancing. She had confidence in the world. She didn't care if people were watching. She was killing any TikTok dance that was coming out. Kei'Mani loved to sing. She enjoyed playing with other kids, no matter their age. She says, my friend also lived in the complex and had a baby. Kei'Mani loved to play and help. I can without a doubt say Kei'Mani didn't like anyone to be sad or upset. She didn't like other kids being mean to anyone else. She loved basketball, and she was excited for tryouts that school year coming up. She was overall a good kid. She says she met Kei'Mani outside playing. She has a 2 and a 4-year-old, and they were constantly outside that summer. And the lady would make lunch for everybody. And from the first day she met her, she was just outside chilling because she would get locked out. She says she definitely would come over when the kids wouldn't be home to just chill. She didn't beg or anything, but she'd come over there and she'd get fed. So they lived real close. Yeah, I got to keep reading this while we're catching up. All right, let's listen to this.
Confessed to her murder, and no,
Thank you, Fox.
I'll take that back. They're saying that he confessed to her and slitting her different places. When it's a baby, that was a baby. Like I said, I have a very close relationship with Kemani. She was a tomboy. She wasn't out looking for, trying to be fast or, mischievous or any of that.
Imagine being forced into some sick, twisted mess by your own father. Like literally your own dad. And then to make it worse, your grandmother helps him cover it up? Sounds like a horror movie, right? But y'all, this ain't fiction. This is real life, and it's exactly what happened to 15-year-old Kemani. What makes this even more heartbreaking is the fact that Kemani didn't just lose her life. She was betrayed, violated, and then allegedly unalived by the very people who were supposed to protect her. Darnell Jones is accused of ending her life, and now police just dropped a bombshell. There's video footage proving her own grandmother was complicit in the crime. So there's a saying that there's no greater love than a mother's love, but when that love turns into loyalty to your grown son over justice for your granddaughter, that's not love, it's madness. And this whole situation is an entire mess. So sit back, let's take a deep breath, because we're diving into the dark, tragic, and absolutely twisted case of Kemani.
Yeah, you guys. So when you hear these family members talking on the media, it's a lot of BS, guys. It's a lot of BS. Now we're gonna address that misconception, Don B. He was not her stepdad. He was, as far as we're concerned, he was a biological dad. Many people were asking that same question, and that's just he was her dad, as far as we know. Now they did a test. I haven't heard anything, but Yeah, I mean, so many people saw what was going on and nobody did anything. You're going to hear about the grandma getting arrested. The neighbor, I mean, I don't understand why so many people reported to CPS. School had an idea what was going on. This neighbor said every morning she'd go over between 7 and 8 and ask for Pop Tarts. And the neighbor just didn't register what was going on. So she asked her, "Don't you guys have any food?" And she would say uh, that she couldn't get in because her aunt had to go to work. So she just locked them out and say, "You guys had to you have to fend for yourselves." So she informed the neighbor that her aunt had went to work and her cousins went to school and she was locked out and hungry. So remember that. Remember that she was being locked out and hungry during these days, and people didn't care when she was alive, and all of a sudden they're wanting to talk on the news, and they want to act like they care now, but they didn't when she was alive. All right, so the confusion of him not being the dad came from the grandmother saying she was provided conflict on if he was a dad. The mom has consistently said he's the bio dad, and so does everybody that's reporting on it. Thank you, Shanitra Speaks. I appreciate you.
A young girl who cried for help only to be betrayed by her blood. So let's break it down. The day police found Kemani's body was already heartbreaking, but what really made jaws drop, that her own grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, got arrested. So Grandma Dorothy had been talking to news outlets when Kemani was first reported missing. She said her granddaughter was living with her, and everything seemed off the night she disappeared. According to her, when she came home on March 17th, the whole place was a mess, like something had happened. She then said Kemani's glasses and keys were still there. The stove was on, which is just a wild case because it's just them and 2 dogs in the house. So who turned it on and why? On top of all that, her underclothes were found by the couch and her pajamas were tossed on the dining room floor. Suspicious? Yes, very. Her grandma Dorothy gave this weird cryptic energy, like she wanted people to think that something bad might have happened, but also not saying much else. But the gag is that while she was still talking to reporters, the police were digging deeper. And y'all, they must have found something, because just hours after Kemani's body was found, Dorothy was put in handcuffs.
Does this sound like the Nazaya story, guys, where it's deep rooted in the family? It's deep rooted in there and people aren't talking about it. They're not talking about it. They're on the news pretending like everything's okay. They're in court talking to the judges, acting like they cared, like they were doing something. Like, what a tragedy. This grandma didn't even call until the next day at noon. If your child or your dog gets out of the gate, if your dog gets out of the gate, are you going to wait until the next day to try to find it? No. What's up, Miss Odin? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah, generations of neglect and abuse is right. And I think that we got kind of fooled a little bit. We got fooled with the Maddie case because the Soto family looks more well-to-do with Yolanda and Stephanie, and so we thought that that's just an isolated incident. But I think it was deeper than that, guys. Good to see you, Bazard. How you doing? MIA to the family trip. Here I come into the community to find another family of sickos who took the life of a young-hearted girl. So violent. This is very, very violent, this case. All right, let's keep going.
Now, Kemani's mother, Tierra Caston, told reporters that she didn't even know what charges her mother was facing, which is wild because it means this family was spiraling and no one knew who to trust. Dorothy was the legal guardian, the one in charge, and now she's at the center of one of the sickest family betrayals we've seen in a minute. After Kemani's body was found, police were scrambling for answers. Who would hurt this child? Who had access? Who saw her last? All eyes landed on one person, her father.
Now, that is the father. I'm until somebody dispels that. And Shadow, you say that they arrested her to get people away from her house, but there's a lot of suspicions swirling around her. And Shanitra says she was not arrested. The police released a statement. They put her in handcuffs for her safety. Dorothy also requested to be in handcuffs, which is interesting. That's good. That's good news, and that's interesting. But I do have a feeling there's something deeper. Many of the things that I looked into say a little bit more than that. But even if that is the case, why were they locking her out? Why was Grandma allowing Auntie to lock her out of the house all day and fend for herself with food? Why did grandma wait almost a full or a half day, a whole night? Why did grandma wait that entire night and then the next day? I just don't get that. That I don't get. And yeah, law enforcement could play games like that. I get that. But you guys will see. Let's keep going. I'm glad you guys are helping fill in the blanks.
Darnell Jones. According to the police affidavit, he was the last person to see Kemani alive. He straight up told the cops that on March 16th, his daughter called him, saying she was scared to stay at home alone. He claimed he and his cousin came over, chilled for about an hour, and then dipped around 12:30 a.m. Sounds like a caring father, right? A protective move, right? Well, y'all, the story did not add up. Cops grilled him, and by the moment they started digging into his timeline, he folded. His statements were all over the place. He said one thing one day and then another thing the next. Suddenly, it was very clear he wasn't just a grieving father, he was a person of interest. But here's where it gets even more twisted, because back in December 2023, Child Services, LCCS, had already gotten a report about Kemani's care while she was living with her grandmother, Dorothy. Then again, in March 2024, these were 3 separate reports in total. People knew something wasn't right at that house. CPS had warnings and red flags everywhere. And in just 13 short years, Kemani had been enrolled in 6 different schools, y'all. 6. That alone is alarming. It shows instability. It shows she was bouncing from place to place. And with every school she switched, she left behind.
Now this one's a little bit weird. This clip here, it will say that that the grandma didn't want her son to get arrested, which is odd because am I missing something here? I don't think that guy is her son. Is that, or am I mistaken? That was the first time I actually heard that connection. I saw this light-skinned guy that was Kmani's dad, and I matched it to, and then I saw grandma, and that was the first time. So watch out, listen to this in here. Yeah, something has to change with CPS everywhere. Florida is terrible. I mean, this is just, I don't know why this keeps happening, and I don't know if it's okay. Yeah, I don't know why it says that. Then I didn't think so. Listen to this. We'll listen to the rest of this.
And signs that something wasn't right. Let's start with Imani Fisher, a classmate from her most recent school, Spring Elementary. Imani said she personally saw bruises on Kemani's arms, and she wasn't the only one. Other students also noticed and said something. They went to the teacher, hoping someone would help her. The teacher claimed she'd take care of it, but clearly nothing came about.
She came to school with bruises on her arm.
That's 7th grader Imani Fisher, classmate of Kmani's from her most recent school, Spring Elementary. Fisher says she would often see Kemani come into class with visible markings, so she and other students decided to say something to a teacher.
And she said she would deal with it, but I don't think nothing happened.
TPS representatives say they have no records against Kemani to either CSB or TPD.
But even before Spring Elementary, there were warning signs. Kayleen Heridian, her 6th grade English teacher at Bennett Venture Academy, also spoke up. Kayleen said she spotted bruises too, clear ones, so she reached out to Child Services, CSB, and filed a report.
Hard, because especially in a role like education, your day doesn't end at 3:30. You take these things home with you. They weigh on you. I'm a parent myself, and I tried my best to make sure that she was removed from that environment.
Harabedian claims she put in multiple calls to CSB. Kemani's grandmother, legal guardian Dorothy Latigue, says they did come knocking on her door, but she denies there was any in the home.
Again, crickets. This wasn't just one person, not just one report, not just one school. This was multiple people across different settings raising alarm bells. And yet, Kemani kept slipping through the cracks, which is bad because at the end, this girl ended up unalived, her body mutilated and dumped like trash. But what hurts even more is the police later confirmed that Darnell Jones was not just lying, he was involved. At first, they charged him with abduction, but then the autopsy came back. Cause of death: incised wound to the neck. Her death was ruled a homicide. The truth was out. She didn't just disappear, she was killed. And Darnell, well, he ran, but not for long. Police caught up with him in Columbus, and then they tried to arrest him. He pulled a gun, so they shot him. He survived, but now he's in custody, facing felonious assault charges.
Dude, show me your hand right now. Pull your hand out. I swear to God, pull your...
We're tracking new details in.
Now, many of you guys are already on my Patreon, so go over to the Patreon and check that body cam out. It's crazy. I found a version that is not blurred out or edited. They posted it, so I posted over there on Patreon. It's wild what he does. At first, I thought, wait, he doesn't have a gun, but he did. And then they shot him and, of course, captured it on body cam. It's just some people, yeah, it's a trigger warning. Some people are really triggered, so I don't want to show that. And I want this to get out there into the algorithm, right? So, yeah, with what he did to her body, I hope so too. I hope so too. I doubt he will unless some technicality.
In the death of Kei'Mani Latigue, the full unedited body cam video as police find and shoot the man they say killed her. What it shows happened just before an officer pulled the trigger. Plus, we get answers from Toledo's top cop.
So here's what's really shaking the table, though. Kei'Mani's father and now accused killer has at least one child with the woman who's now stuck in the middle of all this drama. For privacy reasons, we're not going to name her, but what we can say is this: her world is about to be turned upside down. People online have been dragging her and accusing her of being involved, of hiding things and knowing more than she let on. But hold on, because her sister came forward and she is not having any of it. Her sister made a public plea, basically saying, leave my sister alone. She didn't do anything. She's got kids in the house. She helped get Darnell locked up. And according to the tea that's been spilled in some leaked Facebook messages, the sister might be telling the truth because the situation right here is absolutely wild. Allegedly, the girlfriend helped the police locate Darnell after he went on the run. According to messages from a man who claims to be the boyfriend of the girlfriend's baby daddy, Darnell was calling his baby mama while in hiding. She wasn't answering the phone at first, but detectives allegedly told her to pick up and play it cool, just long enough to keep him on the phone and get a location. But here's the jaw dropper.
Again, guys, this is a recap from the first one, and then we're gonna get into all the updates on video number 1. It's in there, Maryland. It's in there. This is it's called Misty, Misstee. It's Misty, and it's an update. And then we're gonna go on to the news station. All right. So always look inside my description, guys.
Darnell allegedly confessed to her over the phone that Dorothy, Kei'Mani's grandmother, was involved in the murder. That's right, he supposedly told her that Grandma Dorothy had a role in this. The girlfriend tried to record the convo, but the recorder on her phone didn't catch it. She thought she was recording.
Now, this is a definitely a case of see something, say something, do something. This girlfriend was fantastic. I gotta say, he asked her to turn the cameras off, and she was like, wait a minute. That's not right. What does he want me to turn the cameras off for that old abandoned house? And she didn't. And guess what happened? She knew something shady was up, and she took action. Otherwise, who knows when they might have found Kei'Mani's body, right? So another see something, say something, do something. And that being said, Thomas Karras did the same thing. By the way, he sends his love. He's been uber busy. Right, he works a lot, and so we haven't got to see Thomas, but hopefully we see him soon. So welcome everybody in here. Thank you guys for being here. Hit the like button so we can get in the algorithm and spread the information. All right, let's go. His girlfriend did a big justice for Kei'Mani.
But she wasn't. Imagine missing that pivotal moment. Still, the police were already working closely with her at the time. Still, the police were allegedly working closely with her the whole time, trying to piece together Darnell's whereabouts and build a case. And even though she helped, people online started doxing her, leaking her address, threatening to show about her home, and harassing her kids in the process. And y'all, this is dangerous. And Massey, these are real people's lives. The man who leaked the messages also made it clear she ain't hiding nobody. She ain't covering for Darnell, and she ain't just storing the evidence. He said he's been with her since Sunday just to protect the kids in the house. Y'all, this man literally said, I'm not letting anybody roll up in this house with my kids inside. But before we go any further, let's rewind a little bit. Before this recent twist where Kei'Mani's grandmother got officially tied to the case, the internet had already been giving her a side eye. People were suspicious, and I mean real suspicious. So here's what had people raising their eyebrows way before the rest even happened. Grandma Dorothy claimed that people were threatening her, like not just on.
Right, so this is what I wanted to bring to you. So people are saying, and there's local people or like Shanitra that says that talks about, grandma got arrested and other people she got arrested for show. So people would leave her alone. But then I saw this. And I started thinking about why is grandma moving? Why is she moving Kmani 6 different times? Why is she giving Kmani to Auntie to lock out of the house? Why is Kmani getting bruises and grandma's not checking? What is grandma getting to sustain her, but she's not really paying attention to what's going on? So there's definitely, in my opinion, more to this grandma, more to the family, more to her mom. Bazard says, unfortunately, my family had a member that abused my sister and definitely has caused divisions. Unfortunately, these things happen in some communities that just don't trust law enforcement. Well, a lot of these are generational, guys. A lot of them are generational. Doesn't make it right. They should not have leaked anything. That is never right to leak anything on the internet. But let's pay attention to this part and see what people are saying. Cops don't arrest people for show. They would get sued. Huh. Interesting. All right, let's listen to this.
Online hate, but real life threats. She said people were saying they were gonna blow up her house. Like, y'all. But if that's true, that is pretty scary. But to make it even more dramatic, she reportedly called the cops on herself, asking for protection and an escort out of the area.
See?
But here's the kicker: when the cops pulled up, they didn't walk her out quietly or shield her like some victim. She was led out in handcuffs. But hold on, why would Grandma Dorothy be getting cuffed if she's the one who called for help?
See, so this is good. This is really good. Misty, it's the only episode that I've seen cover this. There's a lot of people that cover it, and many people are pretty invested locally and personally. I'm trying to get the most objective information because it's a lot, guys. It's a lot. I could be here for 3 or 4 hours today, and then another 2 tomorrow going over this. So let's keep going. Yeah, she shouldn't have gotten custody, but a lot of it is for the money. They came out there. The family was fighting over, even though mom didn't have her, she wanted her body, and it was all over a GoFundMe account, guys. What's up, Kawinky Dink? How you doing? And Sunshine and Antonia Bove or Bove, good to see you. Good to see new people here.
They said they was going to blow up my house. They said they was going to do harm to me. It's just been a barrage of the different things that they've been stating.
And now yesterday, let's backtrack first for a little bit. So you are the guardian of Kmani, or you were the guardian of Kmani, correct?
I am the legal guardian of Kmani.
Okay.
Well, later, she tried to explain it away, saying that the handcuffs were just for her own safety and to help disperse the angry crowd. But ever since then, people started watching her very closely. But then came the flip-flop statements. One minute she claimed that she didn't know where Darnell was. She was shocked and confused, and then out of the nowhere, she starts revealing some very dark, disturbing stuff. Dorothy claimed that Darnell confessed to her. Yes, according to her, Darnell admitted to his own daughter, slitting her throat.
All right, so listen to that. Listen to what she's saying and the discrepancies, and then we're gonna go over some stuff. Krista, I'd love to do a newbie show if I knew what that was. Tell me what a newbie show is, so I can do it. I'd love to. We definitely gotta do some kind of. We need to do a members only on here soon. Antonia. Good to see you. These Forever 13, they need prayers. Let's stop and say a prayer real quick for the Forever 13 children and even more. All right. Let's get justice for Kmani, for Naziah, for Madeline. Good to see you, Jamila. Rosie, you say, Jay, that's what I'm saying. No one protected her. No one. And did you feel like you're saying that over and over, Rosie? Not you, but do you feel like we keep saying this about all the cases that we're doing? Why didn't anyone say anything? No one's protecting her. We're saying the same things over and over, right? Yes. Amen. Say a prayer, guys. Say a prayer for justice for this little girl and all the other ones. Thank you, Saying. Good to see you here. Dawn says, I can't renew my membership. Google's being weird. It's okay. We're not doing members only today. We'll get it worked out. I'm glad you're here. Millie, hey, mama, I'm a little late. How are these sexy people doing? Yes, we got the most beautiful people on YouTube. in this chat. And I don't mean looks wise, guys. You guys are just awesome. You guys are awesome people that all want to, you're all for justice and for the truth. Same story, different child, and it's sad. And it gets more gruesome, right? Why would you need to slit somebody's throat and take their hands off unless that was for you so that you didn't have to look at her and you didn't get the evidence? Why do that? Good to see you. I know, another heartbreaking case, guys. Yeah, vibes. We all try to be on a good vibe here, whether we agree or not. All right. I have no button to renew mine. That's interesting, Abby. What maybe YouTube's being weird right now. I'm not sure. We'll have to check it out. But right now, let's watch this. I'll gift some memberships, guys.
Wrote and plotting it all beforehand. She said he was grooming Kemani and that it was all a premeditated plan.
Like I said, I feel deceived. I feel like this was pre-planned. I feel like you meant to do this. I feel like you was grooming her.
All right, now this part gets me, and I have to share it with you guys. This whole spiel that she goes into, the whole spiel that she starts talking about. I feel like he was grooming her. And then she gets into the grooming thing. Does this sound familiar, guys? And it's only because we cover these cases every day. Jen Soto said the exact same thing. Once she realized people were looking at her, she started talking about grooming. If you know what that term means, guys, Jamila, thank you, 444, say a prayer. If you know what the word grooming means, then you know what grooming is. Then you know that what grooming is targeting a child, paying special attention, and then doing things to get them in so you can get them close. If you can say that, then you know what it is. Why is she sitting there saying, I feel like she was groomed, but she didn't do anything? Yeah, they tell them themselves by spitting out this stuff. It just doesn't make sense. You hear it over and over. I mean, even in the Sebastian Rogers case, I've been watching the Deception Detective. He came out with 2 more episodes of the Katie Proudfoot and Chris, and it's like you watch that interview again, and you're like, what? What did they say? And why? I mean, they're telling on themselves. Yeah, that is pure evil. When you can sit there and say something like that, and you know what's happening, then you don't know what's happening. What are you doing?
I never saw anything out the ordinary.
Yeah,
but
okay.
When mothers decide to choose prey,
see,
they groom you first.
Okay, you knew that.
Sick and sad. And she had the nerve to say she never noticed anything was wrong, that she was deceived, that she didn't see any signs. You raised this man, you didn't see nothing? But let's be real here. Some people might give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she was manipulated. Maybe she was in denial. Maybe she's sick too. But the internet? No, the internet is saying she's trying to save face now that her name's being dragged into the fire. But y'all, how do you go from, I don't know where he is, to he confessed to all these gruesome details? People feel like she's only talking now because she knows she's in trouble too. And let's not forget, this is the same woman Darnell allegedly said was involved when he was talking to his ex. So at this point, it's giving cover up. It's giving damage control. It's giving too little, too late. But speaking of deceiving, let's talk about how Darnell Jones tried to get slick with his ex-girlfriend. Like, y'all, this man really thought he was smarter than everybody around him. But plot twist, she saw right through it, and thank God she did. So get this, around Friday, March 21st, Darnell hits up his ex, yes, the same woman who's been staying real low-key through all of this, and asks her to do something very specific. Not know how you doing, not know I need help. No, he told her to turn off the cameras at her house. Like, what? Excuse me? Now, obviously that request threw her off because why would someone who's supposedly innocent be worried about security footage? Instant red flag. But instead of listening to him, sis left the cameras rolling as she should. Smart move, because who knows what he was going to be doing? And she knew something.
All right, look at that guy. Savage Barbie, good to see you, my friend. I love people like you that just tell it how it is. And we've missed you over here. Now, this case is Forever 13 case, just like Madeline Soto. And this is her biological father that took her life, almost decapitated her, cut her hands off, and then put her in an abandoned house. And the family fights over the body. All right. The family fights over the body. Last week, they had her funeral. Now, this is still continuing. All right. So this is another story, but a different name, Kei'Mani Latigue. It's much like Naziah, but I think the more that you guys see these cases, I think you guys realize that this is just as similar to Madeline Soto. Just because Maddie's family looks a little more reserved in public and they're not talking and they're not out there, they're keeping their composure and they own businesses, they're just the same as all the other families that have this generational stuff going on. Yeah. And the only thing I could speculate about him taking her hands off was that he was trying to get rid of evidence and then he almost decapitated her. So sometimes when people take other people's lives and they dismember them, they do that and they can't finish the job. So I can't imagine any other reason why you would do that and then stop at that unless you just couldn't finish it. Maybe he got drunk and he started doing that. I don't know. This humanity, young girl being abused, such violence, grown up women covering them. Yes, amen to that. This keeps happening over and over. And instead of protecting their children, they're like, oh, I can get the attention of that man. I want that man's attention. I'll do anything for that man's attention. But his girlfriend didn't do that. So I got to give his girlfriend props. His girlfriend didn't want to be filmed either, but his girlfriend, Barbie, Savage Barbie, his girlfriend told on him and turned him in. He thought he was going to get away with it, and he didn't. And he got shot by the police.
And was off. But let's just say she was right to trust that gut.
The weird thing about it is because before they even showed up, he asked me to turn my cameras off. I have cameras in my house. And he asked me to turn them off. And I was like, why would you want me to turn the cameras off? He said, because I didn't come home till 5 o'clock that morning. And he didn't want them to suspect anything because he didn't show up till 5. And I'm like, well, thinking in my head, I'm like, well, if you don't have anything to hide, then why should I turn the cameras off? And I didn't, but he thought I did.
Ladies, let that be a lesson. While she was in the other room, a relative of hers caught Darnell on the move, literally. He was seen taking stuff from his SUV and stashing it under the basement stairs and real shady behavior. Like this man was out here playing hide and seek with potential evidence in somebody else's house. If that don't scream guilty, I don't know what does. But after the police brought both of them in for questioning, she came home before he did, and her family told her what they saw him do. Sis didn't waste no time. She called the detectives immediately and they came back with a search warrant. And y'all, when they checked under those stairs, they found it. A big SUV floor mat, all rolled up like he was trying to hide some stains or something. And get this, he also left behind muddy work boots, even though...
Thank God this guy was sloppy, right? Indy Isham, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for the $4.99 super sticker. I appreciate you. And I just gifted 10 guilty of crime memberships for those of you that can't get a membership right now. Yes, Carla Langston. Thank God that his girlfriend not only turned him in, but kept those cameras rolling. They didn't get much, but they knew. They knew. All right. I hope you guys got a membership, the ones that wanted them. I'll do my best to give. I try to gift memberships. We all try to gift memberships every show. Teresa says her mom upset me so bad, demanding the cops to tell her if it was her baby, the baby that she didn't have custody of, and she cares now. Please, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you, family fighting over the body now when they didn't protect her when she was alive. They were careless with her. They were careless. That's what I got to say about that. Thank you. I'm glad you got a membership, Micah, and I hope other people that weren't able to also got one. All right, let's keep going. All right, let me
Oh, he hadn't been working. Like, sir, what were you doing stomping around in the mud the week your daughter was found harmed?
It was like a mat for the back of the truck, not a pickup, but SUV. You know, when you lay your seats down and you put that rubber mat in there to protect the back of your seats unless you're hauling.
All right, guys. Wyatt's in the house, everybody. Wyatt, we've been wondering where you were, hoping you were okay. So everybody that's asking about Wyatt, Wyatt's in the house, guys. We gotta protect our guy. All right. Thank you, Abby. I hope that you get a membership soon. Good to see you, Juliet Harley, my friend. It's good to see a lot of faces here when I'm streaming another case, guys. I try to cover the cases that you want to hear about and the most gruesome ones because they are hard for people to cover. They're hard. Kitchen skills, the family is the worst. It's his daughter, Savage Barbie. Yes, it's his biological daughter. All right, Valerie, thank you for the membership. You're very welcome. Very welcome. Yeah, why we care about you here, man. We want to make sure you're okay. You're like our guy that we protect. All right, we got you.
In case you're hauling something, that's what he rolled up and put in my basement. And his work boots, which were caked with mud. I never seen him put it under there, but I wasn't about to hold no evidence for him or none of that. He must have thought that.
But the wildest part, once he found out police grabbed the stuff, he disappeared. And that was the last time she saw him. Gone, just vanished. And then he messed up again because he later called her from Columbus, and that was all she needed. Sis told the police exactly where to find him. And as you all know by now, that's how they caught him.
I don't question this. I came back home before he did, and my family that was here informed me that he hid something under my stairs in my basement. So I called the detectives, and they came and did a search warrant and grabbed it. And once he noticed those were gone, that was the last time I seen him.
After trying to run, trying to hide, trying to dodge the truth, and like I told y'all before, he ended up catching some bullets during the arrest. And looking at everything that's going on, you can clearly see that people are side-eyeing Kei'Mani's grandmother, Grandma Dorothy Teague. So let's not sugarcoat it, y'all. Let's be real here. She looks guilty, real guilty. She knew the kind of man her son was. She knew Kei'Mani was in danger. She saw the bruises. She lived in the house where the happening, and still she did nothing. No cause, no intervention, no effort to protect the child. Even when the police got involved, she didn't flinch.
That's grandma there, guys. That's grandma that's being interviewed. And we're going to go over all this, and we're going to do the updates. So you're going to see the characters in the story that aren't, it isn't a story and not characters. What's up, Mrs. Lady J? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see all of you here today. Thanks for being here, Wyatt and Patty and Hossein, Maggie, Duke. Girlfriend's the only one with any morals, right? A lot of people did have morals and they turned them in, but nothing happened. And it reminds me of when we were listening to Brianna and Rebecca Michelot. Same thing happened to Corey Michelot in that case, guys. Yeah, isn't that weird? Nothing out of the ordinary. Oh, like grooming. Like, if you know that word grooming, then you know the process of it. How could you sit there and say grooming and then not do anything about it? A lot of people I know, guys, don't even know what that means. If I say grooming, they think I'm talking about a dog, grooming a dog. What's up, Anna? Good to see you, my friend. Chick, how you doing? You guys all rolling in? Thank you. Lisa Lynn, you're working and listening. Hey, that's how we like it. You're welcome, Cheryl. All right, let's keep going. Now we're getting to the updates.
Like, how do you even sleep at night when your granddaughter is showing up to school with people are reporting it left and right? Honestly, it's no surprise she's been taken into custody, and she needed them handcuffs too, because when you protecting her instead of the child, you're a part of the point blank period. So now the question is, how deep does this really go? Did Grandma Dorothy help plan this or just turn a blind eye? And why did CPS ignore these multiple red flags from different schools? And what would have happened if just one adult had truly stepped up? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Who failed Kei'Mani? And if you're not already subscribed, then what are you doing? Smash that like button, hit the subscribe.
All right, so we put that in chat. You guys can take a look. It's called Misty, Misstee. Go over there and check her out. All right, go check her out. Let's get on to the updates. I'm going to show you real quick that the judge ruled. There's so many things that happen in this case, but I'm going to show you the ruling, and then we're going to get to the updates and continue talking about this case that has so much to talk about. My goodness. All right, update.
After the murder of a Toledo teen, about the process to lay her to rest. A decision came out just a short time ago about who will have the right to plan Kei'Mani Latigue's funeral. Let's get right to Silver Barker, who is live from the probate court here in Lucas County. Silver.
See, why even do, like, why are they even fighting over that? Don't you think that the person that should do it would be the one that has custody, and the money that they were getting for whatever they were getting should do that, should have the money to do that, or be the sole person? Why are they fighting in court over this? I mean, especially the mom that wasn't even there from the get-go. It doesn't make sense. 111 under the mystic moon. Yeah, right. They're literally battling out in court while while Kei'Mani lays there not alive anymore. I just can't understand it. All right. I don't know what I did here, guys. Hold on. All right, let's keep going.
Right. Well, Mel, this hearing was really over Tiara Caston, the biological mother of Kei'Mani Latigue, and Dorothy Latigue, which is Kemani's grandmother. Originally, the two were going back and forth about who would go forward with her remains and who would be planning the funeral services. The grandmother argued in which, because Kemani has lived with her for the past 5 years, that she should be the one moving forward and planning the funeral services. She argued that having her live in the house with her every day, sending her to school, and the close personal relationship of them over Tiara was more important, in which way she should be able to say what goes forward and what happens next. However, Tiara, which appeared virtually today, was able to talk about her relationship with Kemani. She says that she hasn't seen Kemani since her 11th birthday before this. However, she did have a relationship with her at that time, in which she would visit her twice a year. And
I mean, this is awesome when you see a turnout like this from the community, but don't you wish that kind of energy and that kind of effort would be put into when these children are alive? Why not use that money instead of buying all these balloons and stuff to start a fund or a foundation for children that are hungry during the middle of the day, that don't have anything to eat, or their mom's doesn't have custody and only the grandma does, but she doesn't have enough time to even spend? Why don't they have? I just can't understand like why this stuff keeps happening. Yes, sweet baby. The families that felt the kids always act like they're the victim. Absolutely, they do. Yeah, she was failed, but it's crazy because now we're talking about it, and there's so many people that are coming forward when nothing was done. Look at all that love and support from the community.
But she would visit her twice a year and really try to come see her and build that relationship. Now, ultimately, the judge did decide based on 2 factors. The first factor was how close each relationship was with Kemani, in which I just told you how Tiara was saying her relationship was with Kemani, as well, along with how Dorothy was saying her relationship was with Kemani. Now, the second one comes with the practicality of plans moving forward with funeral services, in which that was who would be doing what exactly, and what were the plans that Kemani's grandmother Dorothy had, along with what were the plans that Tiara Caston, her mother, had. Now, originally, the grandmother did win the decision of moving forward with funeral services. There is a public funeral service they're planning. It has not been said yet with more details, but they are planning to have one this Friday, and there will be a private one as
well. Which that happened, guys. It happened on this last Friday, and then now we're in, what day are we in? Wednesday. Faye, good to see you, my friend, and thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Carla, can you imagine 2 times a year you consider that a relationship? Do you really think that she's going to open up to you every 6 months? She's probably going to be like, yeah, mom, this is good. Yeah, I do this, and just tell the surface level of things. That's it right there. They need love and attention while they are alive, not balloons after they're dead. Now, I'm not trying to talk down to the community for the support, but I mean, come on. They supposedly did, but it doesn't seem like it. It just doesn't. Because how did this happen?
As well, there is a date for that as well, which we are not going to disclose just out of respect for them. But the public one they are planning to have Friday. Reporting live in downtown.
All right, so they did the Friday one. That's the one I showed with the casket, and now we're gonna get into the key updates that happened in this case, so you guys can be up to speed. Mostly it's hard to really be up to speed in this case because every day something has been coming out, and I'm like, dang, I want to show that, I want to show that, I want to show that. So you're gonna see here, we just saw the funeral, but we'll just give the key updates.
What we know today, a judge has ruled Kemani's grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, will take custody of the teen's body and estate. Her mother argued she heard she would not be invited and wanted permission.
Why are they fighting over it? She wants the money. She wants the body. She's not invited. Yeah, I don't know, Anna. I don't know who did. I'd like to find out who had her best interest. Carrie, good to see you. Sorry for busting in with all the random news. Reverend Donna's doing a reading. Awesome. Awesome, Carrie. I'll check that out after. Maybe you can send me a link. Also message me, Carrie. I got something to talk to you about after the show. Yeah, Lori Vallow's wacky. I've been watching that all day long. I'm glad I'm covering this. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. All right, let's keep going. All right, so grandmother awarded custody. This excuse for a mom here wants to be invited to the private funeral, which she should, even if she only saw her every 6 months. But what are they fighting about? What's up, Nikki? Good to see you, my friend. All right. I didn't know you had to be invited to a funeral, right? Well, that's a private one. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's as often as they see her. She's not invited. Maybe it's for a reason. Unbelievable.
To go with another funeral service.
The grandmother also said there would be a public funeral for Kemani on Friday, April 11th. No specific details have been announced, though.
And there are signs of the pending demolition of the home where police found Kemani's body. City crews put up fencing around the burned out building in East Toledo. We're told it'll come down in the next 3 months.
That's crazy.
Now, Kemani's story has touched so many people in our community, and there continues to be calls for justice and accountability.
While her dad is charged with killing her, there are still unanswered questions from the community. Let's take a look back at the investigation so far. Kemani's grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, reported her missing in the early morning hours of Tuesday, March 18th. By just after 4 o'clock that day, Toledo police put out an alert on social media.
By Saturday, March 22nd, 4 days later, Kemani's family intensified their efforts. Volunteers joined in a public search. And her mother, Tiara Caston, expressed concerns over her daughter's disappearance. It would be 2 days later, on Monday, March 24th, that police would find Kemani's body.
All right, so I'll leave that up so you guys can see that. We went over the timeline, but the 18th, March was disappearance, 22nd was a search, and March 24th, the body was found. Now, Eliza, I hope I'm saying your name right, but the grandma knew because the father, what's his name, Darnell, told his current girlfriend that he was going to go over to the abandoned house and he wanted her to turn the cameras off, which is very suspicious. Why would you need to go over to an abandoned house and then turn your cameras off? So she alerted the police and they found Kemani's body there. Like I said, hands missing and almost decapitated. So luckily the dad's girlfriend did that. All right. All right. I do have a playlist for this case, Savage Barbie. It's called Kei'Mani Latigue.
Body inside a burned down house in East Toledo. The man identified as her father, Darnell Jones, would be charged with murder that night.
The next day, Tuesday, March 25th, Columbus police spotted Jones in Shorten North. Body camera video shows Jones appear to reach for a gun. Officers shot him multiple times. Columbus police say he's still in the hospital and has yet to appear in court. Then Thursday, March 27th, Lucas County commissioners voted to form a task force to look into Lucas County Children's Services. The goal, according to Commissioner Pete Gherkin, to restore trust between the community and Children's Services in response to Kemani's death.
Now, we learned just today there will be a public funeral for Kemani on Friday, April 11th. Her grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, said in court that her family is working with Dale Riggs Funeral Home. Dorothy argued in court today that the original plan was to have a private and public funeral last week.
However, she says the holdup came when Kemani's mother, Tiara Caston, wanted to have the right to Kemani's funeral planning and estate. Tiara claims Dorothy was trying to block her from attending the funeral. Ultimately, the judge granted Dorothy the right to proceed.
And how long was your granddaughter living with you on a daily basis? For 5 years?
For the past 5.5 years, yes.
How frequently did your daughter visit?
We haven't seen her collectively since her 11th birthday, which was 2022.
That's
and
a grandma.
My other daughter went to Cleveland.
That's a grandma. So they've been going back and forth and fighting. Michelle Ellender says this monster was caught 20 minutes from where I live. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of crime in that area, right? From what I hear and what I read. We all need to do more to protect our children. I'm a grandma and just don't understand letting anyone hurt a child. And neither do we. And we don't know what's going on with this family and how much of a generational thing it is. I mean, grandma openly on the news talks about Kei'Mani being groomed, but she didn't do anything. She knew the signs. Yeah, it's Ohio. It's Toledo, Ohio. Absolutely under the mystic moon. I could not agree more. And the ones you think aren't, they probably are. I don't know.
To pick her up. Other than that, she claimed she had no transportation to even come to the birthday party.
So I'm sorry, you might have said this already. Well, there would be a private funeral.
There will be a private ceremony, and then there will be a public ceremony for all of those that donated. It's our way of saying thank you. We appreciate, your gestures.
When would the private one be?
The private ceremony will be for family only.
That would be when?
That will be Thursday.
And then the public ceremony Friday.
Correct.
And the funeral home can do that?
Yes. They're just waiting on me to get back in contact with them and let them know whether we should go forth or, if it rules in her favor, what she's going to do.
I have not decided into the court in 12 years. I left because of the strain between me and my mother. As I said before, I was.
So this is Tiara Caston, right? This is grandma and mom fighting over what's going to happen. So this is the hearing determining Kei'Mani's funeral. We saw the update. Grandma won. Mom wasn't really a mom, right? She was there 2 times a year, admittedly. What's up, Sharon? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. The Leo twin. I know, right? I don't know what that is. I mean, that's pretty common now, right? We don't see anybody crying. I mean, we see Stephen Stearns crying for himself, but we don't see Jen Soto crying. We don't see the Proudfoots, especially not Chris, of course, right? We see Seth crying quite a bit, but it's crazy. All right, let's keep going.
I was under the impression by other family members that have been in contact with her that I was not to be invited to my daughter's funeral processions. I have been threatened not by my mother, but by my sister, who has been steadfast, sticking to my mother. And that's okay, I don't mind their relationship at all. But I have been threatened by my sister during this whole thing.
As in a lot of situations where family people aren't getting along pretty well, we hear different comments about things that aren't relevant to what we're doing here. But my focus today is on the statute and the items that the courts to consider. And the ones that stand out the most are close personal relationship and the reasonable practicality of any plans a person has for disposition. And convenience of family members and other friends wishing to pay their respects to the declarant. And based upon those 3 factors, it's hard to understand. Clear to the court that the application for right of disposition filed by Dorothy Latigue shall be granted. So the court will issue a entry within the next hour or so, and so we'll get that to the funeral home, and we will proceed to get this child laid to rest. And I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong, but I'm saying based upon the factors that I need to consider, those factors weigh in favor of you having the right disposition. Basically, a lot of it's a close personal relationship, and you raised this child.
No further details have been released about the public funeral, just that there will be a private service for family on Thursday. That is not open.
Okay, so that was Friday. We know about that.
For anyone else to attend. Then the public event will be Friday. We'll share details on that as soon as we get them here on WTOL 11 Plus and WTOL.com, along with our social media channels.
Lucas County Children's Services says it is bound by state law what it can and cannot say. Director Randy Muth explained at a news conference today that he cannot release personal details or anything that could interfere with the criminal investigation. He did note that his agency serves 8,500 children and received 13,000 allegations of child abuse.
So that's quite a bit, but what he's trying to do is protect his agency, right? So we're going to hear this. It's not the full one. I didn't want to play the full one because it gets a little bit like, okay, again and again. But yeah, let's listen to this. Suzette says mother and daughter got to have a really bad relationship to take each other to court, right? I couldn't imagine. Yeah, I wonder what happened to that daughter with her mother. I wonder what she went through and just how all of it is. Yeah, seeing a child twice a year. And then just putting her out. I don't understand the dynamic of that family, how they think it's okay to just, oh, Auntie's going to work. Grandma's going to pass her over to Auntie. While Auntie goes to work, I'm going to lock all you children out on the street to fend for yourselves. If you're hungry, oh, well. Yeah, a lot of people do say that. Definitely.
And neglect just last year. Now, Lucas County Children's Services is working with the state to make sure this case is handled properly.
As director of Lucas County Children's Services, I'd ask that you remember our staff as they go out into the community every day to provide services, safety, and supports to the complex dynamics of family need when social crisis occurs. I've seen how deeply this tragedy has affected them, and I thank them for their continuing compassion work and the heroism that they do every day. We're aware that the community is looking for answers. It's absolutely appropriate to do so, and the community is entitled to them. We want them too. To that end, we are conducting an internal review to see if anything could have been done or should have been done to prevent this tragedy. Immediately after I learned of Kmani's murder, I asked the Ohio Department of Children and Youth, that's the state agency that has supervisory authority over all local county level child protection agencies, to conduct a formal on-site review of the services we provided to this family and our policies, procedures, practices, and protocols as they were applied to this case. We'll be able to share the results of both of those reviews as soon as they're completed.
As the investigation into Kei'Mani Latigue's murder continues, Lucas County Children's Services is addressing questions about its previous involvement with the teen and her family. The agency confirms it received 2 separate reports of alleged physical abuse by Kei'Mani's grandmother more than a year before she was killed. Executive Director Randy Muth outlined the steps taken during those investigations and emphasizes no one, including family or community sources, ever mentioned the man now charged with Kei'Mani's murder.
So we received 2 separate allegations of excessive physical discipline by Kei'Mani's grandmother. The first was in December of 2023, 16 months before her murder. And the second was March of 2024, 12 months before her murder. Now, you'll see on our website that we received 2 referrals in March of 2024. It's important to understand that those 2 referrals were made within hours of each other, and they related to the same event. So there were not 3 separate investigations. There were just 2, one in December of 2023.
So we did watch that interview on here in the first episode. We watched the interview of Kei'Mani's mom, and it was wild. It was hard to understand. It was somebody on TikTok. So yeah, it was definitely, I'm looking things up because there are so many updates I want to share with you. I don't have, hours to do it. So yeah, we did. If you go back and watch that, we did play that interview. And I'm looking up the funds from the family being donated, and people are actually concerned. A lady goes on here on the news and is concerned because she donated to the funeral. And she's like, where'd that money go? Where'd that money go?
One in March 2024. Prior to those 2 referrals in December of 23 and March of 2024, the last involvement we had with Kei'Mani occurred in 2011. When she was an infant. Further, at no point in our involvement with Kei'Mani was there any mention of Darnell Jones by anyone in the family, by anyone involved with the family, or by anyone associated with the schools. Again, as I said, both investigations alleged that grandmother had used excessive physical discipline. Those investigations were initiated on the very same day that we received the calls. Both investigations involved reviewing the family record, including identified family members, speaking directly with the persons who made the reports, a physical inspection of the home and the living conditions, speaking with the child alone, speaking with collateral sources. These are people who know the family but don't live in the home, doing background checks, application of state-mandated family assessment and safety assessment tools, and then sending letters to the mandated reporters when our investigation was complete. In both investigations, both Kmani and her grandmother stated that the household consisted of just them. Neither mentioned Darnell Jones, neither identified him as a father of the child, and neither said that he was a support for the child or the father. And again, none of the referral sources nor the collateral sources we spoke with ever mentioned a father nor mentioned Darnell Jones. No record exists which establishes paternity of Kmani, not with Darnell Jones nor with any other person. There was, back in 2011, an alleged father who was excluded by genetic testing. Subsequent to that, though, there's been no efforts that we can discover to identify a father of Kmani. At the conclusion of both those comprehensive investigations, a team decision was made where it was determined that it would be inappropriate to ask the juvenile court to remove Kmani from her current caregiver. That team decision was made by the supervisor.
I just looked it up, Shanitra, on your page, and I did not see that interview. I don't know the way you have it formatted on your page about Kei'Mani Latigue update. Please reveal new details. And Darnell Jones never argued with his girlfriend. So I didn't see a lot of that stuff here. That's really good. You guys should go check out Shanitra Speaks. I'll drop a link for her. Some really good information there. All right, let's keep going.
The caseworker, and in consultation with those documents and tools that I indicated. I think it's important to understand that almost no decision here at Lucas County Children's Services is made by one person alone. Instead of seeking or asking the juvenile court to remove Kmani from the care of her grandmother, we provided short-term services and referred the family to other community supports. Again, our last referral of child abuse or neglect with respect to Kmani was received on March 21st, 2024, more than 1 year prior to her murder.
The executive director of Lucas County Children's Services says he's aware of reports that other people called in involving Kei'Mani, but his agency doesn't have any record of that. So he's asking anyone who believes they may have called Lucas County Children's Services regarding Kei'Mani within the past year to call the Family Center hotline. That number is 419-213-3833. That number is also on your screen. This is a different number than the agency's child abuse prevention hotline.
As the community continues to mourn the loss of the little girl, questions have surfaced about her safety leading up to her.
Yes, this is what we want to talk about. So leading up to it, I really am interested to see how serious that they are going to say they took it versus what the community is talking about, you guys. The community is definitely saying one thing and the media is saying another thing. So, I mean, I guess that's how that goes, right? Yeah, right. Katie Bug fighting after her death is like a dagger to the heart. Who fought for her while alive? No one, it seems, right? I mean, they say they did, but when you look back at it, you're like, wait, what? Were they really? I mean, who does that? Who does that to their children? Who does it to their grandchildren? Right? Grandchildren should be cherished. Children should be cherished, but grandparents go that extra mile for their children and their grandchildren. It doesn't seem like that's happening here.
Death, and whether there were any red flags that potentially were missed. During a recent news conference, Lucas County Children's Services responded to concerns about Kei'Mani's grandmother, including prior reports disciplinary practices, and whether the young girl ever expressed fear or discomfort about her home life. Officials also addressed how they assess a children's safety when concerns of abuse come up.
Yes, Wyatt, this was an ongoing situation that people reported. Teachers talked about, family knew, grandmas using the words grooming, but nothing happened and no one's really doing anything until now that Kei'Mani is no longer alive. And the way that her life was taken was brutal, and the things that happened to her are brutal. Yeah, I mean, it's like she slipped through the cracks, it seems, but I don't know what actually was going on there, because there's so many different views of this. This guy's saying one thing, but what happened?
Question for you about grandma. Did grandma have kids in her care, and did she have any kids removed from her care by Children's Services?
Yeah, unfortunately, that exceeds the statutory authority I have. I can only talk about this particular case.
Okay, because I've heard concerns from people that were children taken and they couldn't figure out why Kmani was still there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm only allowed to talk about Kmani's case.
Okay, in the discussions that investigators had with her, did she deny that there was any abuse in this 23 and 24 interaction? Can you describe to us what she was saying to your investigators?
Well, you use the term abuse, which is actually a legal term. Grandmother did indicate and did admit that she had used physical discipline.
And was Kmani okay with it?
I think Kmani stated she understood the reason for it, but I don't know that.
Now, you guys, I don't know. I mean, a lot of you guys are, I notice that a lot of people in my community, yeah, he definitely quickly dismissed the real question, Shanitra. I love that you're here in chat. I appreciate you so much. I love doing things with other creators. I love that other creators are in my chat, and I definitely support your channel. But yeah, I mean, it quickly dismisses the failure of the system to talk about something else. We don't know, because nothing happened. There were things reported. Grandma moved Kmani 6 times in one school year. I mean, that just shows lack of stability. She would go to school with bruises. Teacher said something, nothing happened. All right. So we don't know just yet, but yeah, why would she be okay with that? Now, a lot of us in this group here are 45 and older, and the generation that raised us used to do spanking. We used to get spanked, but this generation, it's like it's gone overboard, and I feel like it's unacceptable. It completely unacceptable at this point. No, it is her bio dad, but yeah, definitely not a dad. Her biological dad did that to her.
She was so okay with it.
She was okay with it?
She ever, was she okay with what had happened to the point where she was okay staying in the home?
Yes, Kmani indicated on both occasions and to school officials that she felt safe in the home.
And how do you parse that out when the adults in the room and there may be other external pressures? How do you parse out that kid is really telling you what he or she really feels and just isn't worried about that person standing in the corner of the other room?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why we speak with the child alone. And I understand that might be different.
Right now, when I was listening to this, I was like, no, something's going on here. Do you remember when we talked to Rebecca last week? If some of you were here, Rebecca Michelo said that they would, like CPS or people investigating what was happening to little Corey would come investigate, and they'd ask him right in the same room with his dad or with the parents, so they don't want to say anything. This same situation seems to be going on here. All right. So what he's saying doesn't seem to match what's happening. And he sways a bit from what he's saying. He looks like a deer in headlights. Listen what he's saying.
Than speaking elsewhere. We also, that's why we look at other collateral sources, look at other statements that the child has made. We ask her what her supports are, and then we follow up with those.
And the grandmother has said before that, she was corrected in how to properly handle situations like this. And she said that she was told, one swat on the butt. Is that something that a caseworker or anyone would ever tell a guardian that that's appropriate?
Lucas County Children's Services does not endorse, and we don't recommend the use of any corporal punishment. However, Ohio law does state that that is a decision that is reserved to the parents, and that if parents decide in using their exclusive judgment to use corporal punishment, we do provide guidance on how to do that. And we would say to use, if you have to do that, use an open hand on a non-sensitive area. Don't leave marks. Don't use an object.
Marks. Don't leave marks, guys. Don't get caught. If you're going to give corporal punishment to your children, use the chancla, which is open-handed, but don't leave a mark. It's not funny, but it kind of, I mean, what he's saying is kind of a little bit ridiculous. I mean, he's right, but I don't think that's what's being practiced there. I don't think that's what's being practiced. Yeah, our generation was different. Maybe not you, Tiff. All right, Tiff, youngin'.
Was there any sort of background check done into the grandmother?
Background check?
Yes.
Was there anything that raised any flags based off of her criminal history?
There were not.
Kei'Mani attended multiple schools over the past few years. She was most recently at Toledo Public Spring Elementary. Children's Services said it did not receive any reports of alleged abuse from TPS, but did from her previous school, Bennett Venture Academy. That's one of the two cases it investigated. So we asked, does changing schools often raise any red flags?
You mentioned that her school needs were being met, and she had been at multiple schools, transferred multiple times. Did that raise any flags to you guys or alert you of any potential issues?
No, that point's been brought up, and that's a great point, and I understand that. No, we respect the family's ability to determine what's best. In fact, we encourage families.
I don't think this guy even knows what's going on in that community, people. I don't think he has any idea about this community or any of the communities there in Ohio, any of that. I mean, he's like, yeah, well, we do this, and I tell them to leave an open hand when you do it and don't leave marks. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about at all. I have a feeling he's just talking out of his book that he remembered. Come on. Hey, Pink Stars. Good to see you, my friend. Hit the like button and show some love, you guys. Mindy, how you doing? Back what state? Yes, changing schools along with homeschooling should be part of the family dynamics with homeschooling. All right. Yeah, this guy, man, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He can't relate. I don't know why they sent this guy up there.
Is to come together without the assistance or interference of the state of Ohio or Lucas County to do what is in the best interest of their families. We're not going to second guess whether a child has moved 2 times, 3 times, or 6 times. As long as the child educational needs are being met, then we trust the families to make those decisions.
And can you also kind of discuss in just general terms what it takes or at what point a child is removed from a home?
Yeah. Well, anytime that we believe that the child is in imminent risk of physical harm, or, well, let me back up. So if we believe that, we have 2 courses open to us. We can make a determination as to whether we believe the family can and will work with us and ensure.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit forward because this guy is just whatever. He's just spitting whatever he thinks he should say. Let's talk about Darnell Jones. Now, this guy is not clean. Yeah, I agree. Part of the problem, an out of touch politician or spokesman that has no idea what he's talking about. Yeah, Rachel Burton says, ew, I hated soap in my mouth. Yeah, I don't remember that one, but yeah, this guy doesn't know. They should really get somebody that's in the community involved. There's 222 people in here, guys. 222. Say a prayer for those that need justice, for Kmani, for Madeline, for Naziah, for Sebastian, all of them, all the cases that we cover, right? Yeah, he does. He don't even know what he's talking about. It makes no sense, and it's not real.
Agency had any knowledge of a paternal figure and how that could have impacted their investigation or placement decisions had he been identified.
If dad was part, if it ever had surfaced in a conversation or if he had come up, would that have made your work any different? Would the caseworker have handled it any differently if dads were listed or mentioned?
Yeah, absolutely. If there's a father that's identified, we have to talk with all the principals in the case.
How'd that
So
come
the
out?
identified can be two ways. One, established as the father in the case, and we have a record of that.
And what
Or
did
the
it do?
child can identify somebody that they view either as a father, an alleged father, or an actual father. So if anybody, if either one of those things had happened, if our database had indicated we had an identified established father, we would have been required to reach out to that individual. If the child had identified, hey, this gentleman is dad, or he is a support, or I view him as dad, we would have reached out. Those did not occur in December or March of last year.
And would that have changed what you would have done when it comes to a placement with her if dad had surfaced?
No, I suppose it depends on what we would have learned. From whoever was identified as dad. But no, I mean, we determined that the placement there was appropriate. All the basic needs of the child were being met. She was getting all of her sustenance, her housing conditions were fine.
All right, we're gonna go a little bit forward, guys, because we're an hour and 30 minutes, but there's still people. You guys are still here, and there's so much to go over. So I do want to go over. If you look at my thumbnail today, I've got what we've all been getting wrong. This sleuthy Lucy did a really good job of putting those things together. And then I also want to show you about a Toledo woman that was concerned about where the funds went for the funeral. So you can see we started in the beginning, the family's fighting over Kei'Mani's body and it's regarding money, and people are donating and they don't even know where it's going and they're concerned. Good to see you in chat, my friend Sadie's mama. You've been in here for a while. Thank you. I hope you're feeling good today. All right, let's get a little bit past this. This guy out of touch. This is Kei'Mani Latigue Task Force looks into children's services, which is a bunch of nothing burgers. All right, this is the Lucas County Children's Services. These are the people that were supposed to have done something and nothing happened.
How much of the public is going to be involved? And the three of you are kind of at the front of it right now. How much are you going to be hearing from the public? How much are you going to be including them in the task force?
Honestly, we've been hearing from the public just with our three names being mentioned. We have been hearing from the public, but
do you want the public involved in it?
I'm sure, definitely.
What is the tone? What are people saying to you? What are you getting from the public?
That they're comfortable that we're looking into this, that there's going to be a task force established. I've heard positive things.
I don't know why this is.
And what do you want to?
Yeah. Okay, let's look at this and then we'll.
There's no official timeline that has been announced for that task force at this time, but we're told we should expect an announcement coming out within.
Okay, so now they're going to do something now that she's no longer alive. Let's take a look at this Toledo woman that is mad about the GoFundMe, and then we'll talk about the things that we think we know that we really don't.
Home will have a walkthrough memorial for Kei'Mani Latigue on Friday. It'll be held at the YMCA in West Toledo. It's out there tonight, and they want to find. Silver Barker joins us now in studio with more. Silver, a woman who donated, she's speaking out on this.
Yes, Beth, who does not want to disclose her last name, tells us she donated to Brown Legacy Memorial, and now she just wants confirmation on how that money is going to be used.
On March 29th, Beth sent a total of $200 over to Brown Legacy Memorial through an online link.
I pressed the link and it took me to the Brown Legacy Fund, and then so I donated to it through PayPal.
She shows us she sent $200 through the app. It's what she felt would be a supportive way to help Kei'Mani Latigue's family.
Just, a horrible, brutal murder, and I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to help somehow,
But she started growing worried when she heard the funeral home wouldn't be moving forward with the service. Instead, it posted it will be transferring services over to a new funeral home, including the $6,000 raised.
I had posted about it on Facebook in case anybody else wanted to donate. And, I changed my post to say, don't donate till there's a new link. I thought there would be maybe a new link to the new funeral home.
Beth says she then decided to reach out to Brown Legacy Memorial through email regarding the money she sent. She even tried to file a dispute on PayPal, but was unable. However,
we're not sure who's scamming what. The family member said that none of those GoFundMes were even them. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. But then at the same time, the family is also they were trying to see who would get the body for a cash grab. So what's up, Ashton? Good to see you. Better late than never. So you guys, I would say if you're going to donate to that, if you're local, if you're not local, make sure you know where you're donating to, because we don't know who actually started the GoFundMe. If Shanitra, if you know anybody or anything that's actually like a real GoFundMe, let me know. There's some people that are covering this that I assume will. Let me I want to talk about some of the things that we've been getting wrong or that we didn't know in the case, because I'm not ready to go yet. There's a lot in this case, and I don't want to stop covering it yet. So this is Sleuthy Lucy. It's almost like an AI voice. So that is what you guys saw on my screen there, my thumbnail. So let's talk about about a little bit of this. So if you just came in, perfect timing. We're in the second half of the show.
Disappearance to the shocking discovery that followed. Here in Behind the Crime, we're not just rehashing the facts. We're going deeper. We'll address the confusion, the conflicting details, the online speculation, and the strong reactions this case has stirred. And just a heads up, what we cover here assumes you are familiar with our initial case coverage. So if you'd rather hear the full story first, pause here and come back once you're up to speed.
It's like,
for those who are ready to dig in, let's start by untangling the timeline.
All right.
But before we get into that, we need to pause and address a question that's come up repeatedly, one that continues to fuel speculation online.
All right. So I was looking into this just to make sure that I knew, because people were saying it's not her biological dad and whatever happened with that. So let's talk about that. Sharon says, I don't really trust Cash App or any of the apps. I only got Venmo. And honestly, I only send one person funds. Well, thank you. I just donated 10 memberships today for the last that you donated. So I used that money to buy membership. So thank you, Sharon. You guys thank Sharon for the memberships today. All right, that is her dad. Let's look into this.
Darnell Jones truly Kei'Mani Latigue's biological father? It's a question born out of disbelief, because accepting that someone could do something so monstrous to their own child is almost unbearable. But here's what we know. Throughout this case, no one in the family or in law enforcement has formally disputed Darnell's status as Kei'Mani's father. In interviews, Dorothy Latigue, Kei'Mani's grandmother, did express that Tiara had made conflicting statements, saying at times that Darnell was the father, and other times that he wasn't. Dorothy admitted, I don't know what to believe. But Tiara herself has never made a public correction. And she did not refute the paternity in any of her interviews, including those conducted after Darnell was charged with abduction and later with murder. And when we look at the legal filings, the press releases, and the way this case has been...
This is sick, you guys. When you look at the pictures of these people, you think that they're still happy and smiling somewhere, and you realize what this guy next to me did to her, and that her mom wasn't even there for her at all for any of this. Who knows what other abuse that she was going through. Now, there was bruises reported on her, but what were there other people doing things to her? Was there SA before this? I'm gonna assume there was, and she wasn't doing like she wasn't like out there on TikTok doing these sexy dances and whatever. All right, she wasn't. All right, so let's keep going. I just got Carly, if you're here, I got someone accepted my chat. One of my biggest haters, the Reddit people. If you're watching, go ahead and post this. Go ahead and post this today, you guys. I hope none of you guys are on Reddit. I hope you guys aren't. And if you are, let me know so we can get you to flag some things. My goodness. We're over here trying to get justice for these children and the things. All right.
Been handled by investigators.
All I'm going to say.
He has been identified as the father throughout. So while confusion exists and some family dynamics remain unclear.
She actually was a tomboy, which is great because she wasn't out there wearing these sexy low cut things, which is fine when you're older, right? But when you're, 12, 13 years old, she was out there playing basketball and all that. Oh boy, Wolfie, boy, is it a joke. Boy, is it a joke. My goodness. Yes. Ha ha ha. They started a whole Reddit about me, and it's not very funny though. It is actually harmful as well. So I hope none of you guys do. If you guys go over there, I'm going to tell you to flag some stuff. It's outrageous. It is not. It's a cesspool of toxicity, guys. All right. My goodness. I didn't even realize that. I didn't even know it was there until today. And I wish I didn't know now. I wish I didn't know because there's some harmful things on there.
Clear. Here's the reality. There has been no public dispute,
I'm
legal
not
challenge,
either.
or
I was
correction
there.
to Darnell Jones being Kemani's biological father. And unless new evidence comes to light, we report based on what's been documented so far. The man accused of abducting, brutalizing, and killing 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latigue was her father. With paternity clarified, it's time to walk through the timeline. A part of this case that's caused deep confusion, conflicting interpretations, and a flood of speculation online. We're laying it out clearly, not to add to the noise, but to quiet it. March 15th is the last day Kemani's mother, Tiara Caston, says she saw her daughter. Kemani had been brought to her mother's home by Darnell Jones. Her grandmother and legal guardian, Dorothy Latigue, had given permission for the visit. By all accounts, it was a joyful time. Kemani and her mom played video games, laughed, and traded jokes, roasting each other like they always did.
For days, Tiara Caston, the mother of 13-year-old Kemani Latigue, searched and searched, hoping to find her little girl. Caston says she last saw her on March 15th.
We played video games. We played, we talked mess,
This is Kei'Mani's mom, right? They played video games and they talked every couple of months, right? She does, Foxy. Kei'Mani looks like Alicia Keys back in the day. Yeah, when Alicia Keys first came out. All right, Synth. Good. Yeah, hashtag forever 13, man. These kids need a lot of help. I wish that there would be more of a community support for those children that are being abused now, not after the fact. How do we change that?
No, that's what we do. We roast each other, all types of stuff, but it's all love.
It's all love.
It was a rare moment of normalcy. No one knew it would be the last. March 17th to 18th is the part of the case that has generated the most confusion, and not just among viewers. Darnell Jones told investigators that he dropped her off at her grandmother Dorothy's house on Sunday, March 16th. Later that same night, he claimed, Kemani called him, frightened that someone was trying to break in. He said he came back to check on her, stayed for about an hour, and then left around 12:30 a.m. That timeline leaves an unexplained 24-hour gap between when Darnell claimed he left Dorothy's home at 12:30 a.m. on Monday, March 17th, and when Kemani was reported missing early Tuesday morning, March 18th. And more importantly, it conflicts with the timeline determined by Toledo police, who say Kemani was last seen the night of Monday, March 17th, into the early morning hours of March 18th. So where's the truth? Toledo police conducted extensive investigation.
But do you see what happened? Does anyone in chat that's following this case know about any of this? Do we know? Is there someone local or someone that's been following this that knows why grandma let her be out for the full night? Like she was gone all night, and then 12:30 the next day is when she called the police. I don't get that. And no, Darnell is not that woman's son. And no, they did not cremate her. She had a casket and a regular funeral. There was no cremation in that one. But do you remember, you heard what happened? She was almost decapitated and her hands were missing. So I don't know what. No, she didn't sneak out. Her dad came and picked her up and then did that. No, she didn't do anything wrong. She was doing what kids do, just living. She did nothing. Oh, I just don't get this.
Investigative work, reviewing phone records, surveillance footage, and witness statements. Their findings were formally documented in the abduction warrant issued on March 23rd, which clearly states that Darnell Jones removed Kemani from her home on the morning of March 18th. In other words, the last confirmed sighting of Kemani was around 12:30 a.m. on Tuesday, March 18th. That's also the same morning she was reported missing. But the public confusion wasn't just caused by Darnell's conflicting statements. Dorothy Latigue, in at least one televised interview, referred to the morning she found Kei'Mani missing as Monday morning. This likely came from working a long overnight shift from Monday into Tuesday. But her phrasing led many to believe Kei'Mani disappeared a full day earlier than she actually did.
I just wanted to come home safely. I mean, she's not in trouble. She hasn't been in trouble.
This is a picture of Spring Elementary student Kei'Mani Latigue. The teen has not been seen since Sunday evening after 10 p.m. Her grandmother says she came.
You're never a jerk, Wyatt. Are you talking to me? I just get really upset that she didn't do anything. I don't know if you're talking to me, but I never get upset like that. What's up, everybody? Where do you see trolls, Rosie? If there are trolls, we know where they came from. They love when I say Reddit. Every time I say Reddit, they come. So, if there are, yeah, like Rosie said, something's up with grandma for sure. Everybody thinks that. I don't understand. All right, we're going over the timeline and it just things don't match. But somebody said maybe grandma was at work, but nobody noticed she was missing. Was that often that happened?
Came home from work and the door was unlocked.
It was Monday morning.
There you go, guys.
And when I came home, she wasn't here. Of course, she was supposed to have been on her way to school, but according to the way that the house was set up, once I got here, because it was in complete disarray, she wasn't here. So I called the school so that I can talk to her, and they said that she wasn't there.
And that misstatement, combined with Darnell's inconsistencies, has kept people debating the timeline ever since. But the most credible source is the evidence-backed abduction warrant. That document and Toledo PD's statements make it clear. Kei'Mani Latigue was last seen alive on the night of Monday, March 17th into early Tuesday, March 18th, and she was reported missing later that morning. On the morning of March 18th, Dorothy Latigue, Kei'Mani's grandmother and legal guardian, returned home around 9:40 a.m. after working an overnight.
I mean, there's a good possibility, Juliet, that is something that is, I mean, in other countries, they still do that. If you go to another country and you steal something, they'll still do that to this day. But that doesn't have anything to do with this case, in my opinion. In this case, I believe he was trying to hide what he did. And she was found in a abandoned house, an old abandoned house. He had cameras in that house, and he told his girlfriend that he was going to be at the house and to please turn the cameras off. And his girlfriend saw something, said something, and did something. She called the cops. That's how they found her body. Right? It was an abandoned home. So I mean, it must have been what do you call that? It must have been his cameras in there. I don't know. Do you guys know? Was it a house that one of them owned? Why were there cameras? Why were his cameras in that house? That didn't make sense to me.
Overnight shift. The moment she walked through the door, something felt wrong. The front door was unlocked. The gas stove was on.
Yeah.
And Kei'Mani's belongings, her glasses and keys, which she never left behind, were still in the house. The home was in disarray. Strangely, Kei'Mani's underwear lay on the living room floor beside her glasses, while her pajamas were found in the dining room. But Kei'Mani was gone. Dorothy immediately called her granddaughter's phone. No answer. Worried, she then called Kei'Mani's school, pleading with staff to have her call back.
Now, the dad went on the news, you guys. The dad was on the news pleading for his daughter. He was dumb enough to go on the news, but they kept talking to him, and he was lying. So they were like, okay. They mashed up the two things, found her body, and there you go. Yeah, now DNA would, but if you take somebody's hands and you take somebody's head, it takes a while to be able to identify someone. We don't know why he did that. It could have been that he was going to dismember her. We have no idea, and he's probably never going to say that. Thank you, Teresa. The aunt of Kale used to rent the house. They found her. Thank you. I knew there was some tie to it because he had cameras in there that he asked his girlfriend to turn off. And yes, Sharon, absolutely. All right. No, the dad was not living with the grandma.
That's when her worst fears were confirmed. Kei'Mani had not shown up for class that day. Panicked, Dorothy contacted the Toledo police. Officers officially responded to the 2900 block of Elm Street at 11:55 a.m., and a missing person investigation was opened. Later that day, around 4:03 p.m., the Toledo Police Department posted a missing persons alert to their official social media accounts, asking the public for help locating 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latigue. What began as a quiet Tuesday morning had now become a community-wide search effort. By midweek, the case of 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latigue was all over the local news. Volunteers distributed flyers, community members organized searches, and emotions ran high. On Wednesday, March 19th, Darnell appeared in a media interview alongside Dorothy. Together, they made a public appeal, asking the community for help. Darnell explained that Kei'Mani had called him, scared that someone was trying to break into the house. He said he came over to check on her and stayed for a while to help her feel safe. He didn't specify.
See, I mean, there's monsters in plain sight, guys. He's right there on the news acting like he's supporting grandma when he's the one that did that. Now, the house was already abandoned and burned down, but somebody said maybe he was selling something out of it. Maybe he was using out of it. Now, when they caught him, he had already shaved his head, like completely shaved, which tells me he was trying to get rid of DNA evidence and maybe have a new disguised look because he went on the news like that. And when they caught him, his hair was completely shaved off, which doesn't sound like something somebody would do that has their hair done like that. That takes time. Yeah, Wolfie, I could not have said that better. I could not have said that better. Weird enough, when the house was burned down, 2 bodies were found, 2 young boys. Yeah, that's crazy.
Specify the date, only that he left around 12:30 a.m.
My cousin, we sat over here and we left around like 12:30ish.
But what added to the confusion was that both Darnell and Dorothy referred to Monday as the day these events unfolded. Dorothy stated during the same interview that she came home Monday morning to find the house in disarray. That detail matters because she would have actually been returning home Tuesday morning, March 18th, after working an overnight shift. But her phrasing, along with Darnell's timeline, gave the impression that everything occurred a day earlier. This led the reporter to frame the events as taking place Sunday night into Monday, when in fact, according to police records and the abduction warrant, which was based on surveillance footage, phone records, and witness statements, Kei'Mani was last seen alive late Monday night into the early hours of Tuesday, March 18th. So the confusion started with conflicting statements from 2 of the people closest to Kei'Mani, and that initial misreporting only deepened the public's uncertainty about what really happened. Instead of clarifying the situation, the interview raised more questions.
Yeah, good.
Why were Darnell and Dorothy appearing together so publicly? Why did the timeline being presented differ from the one investigators had already confirmed? On social media, speculation exploded. Some accused Dorothy of covering for Darnell. Others questioned if she was somehow complicit. The optics of their joint appearance and the misstated timeline fueled even more public suspicion. Then came a tip that changed everything. On Friday, March 21st, Darnell's girlfriend, whose name has not been released, contacted police with critical information.
Yes, she did not want to be in the media, which is, I understand why, you guys. Brutal. I never understood why until now that I'm on YouTube. I'm like, man, there's some serious haters, you guys. I'm thankful for you that you aren't. Tracy says, in my opinion, grandma had something for dad and he wanted to look comfortable next to each other. I have no idea. I don't know what they did. I don't know what connection they had or any of that. Nobody's talking about that. Hey, friend, I'm glad you're still here.
She said Darnell had called her earlier that day, asking her to turn off the security cameras in their home. Suspicious, she refused and kept them on. Later, a relative inside the home observed Darnell moving items from his SUV into the basement, hiding them beneath the stairs. A rolled-up SUV mat and mud-caked work boots, even though Darnell hadn't worked in some time. She called police. Detectives obtained a search warrant, retrieved the items, and secured them as evidence. This was the turning point. Investigators no longer saw Darnell as a concerned parent. They saw a suspect hiding something, and on March 23rd, they made their move. By this point, detectives had reviewed hours of surveillance footage, combed through cell phone records, and interviewed multiple witnesses, including Darnell's girlfriend and the relative who saw him hiding items in the basement. The evidence was mounting, and so were the contradictions in Darnell's statements. On Sunday, March 23rd, the Toledo Police Department issued the abduction warrant, accusing Darnell of taking Kemani without permission in the early morning hours of March 18th. The warrant was more than just a formality. It was the result of days of investigative work. In it, detectives outlined a version of events that pointed directly to Darnell's involvement. They were no longer just looking for a missing girl. They were pursuing a criminal suspect. But there was still one problem. Darnell had disappeared. He was no longer in Toledo. And police didn't yet know where he'd gone. That would soon change. Earlier in the afternoon of March 24th, police had discovered Kei'Mani Latigue's body inside a burned and abandoned house on East Miami Street, confirming the community's worst fear. Word traveled fast. People who had once been searching alleyways and hanging posters were now gathering to mourn. A spontaneous vigil formed that very night, with candles lit for Kemani and prayers whispered into the cold evening air. But while many came to grieve, others came with questions, and not everyone agreed on where to direct their anger. Online, accusations continued to swirl. Some blamed Dorothy, others blamed Tiara. Some still refused to believe Darnell could be capable of such horror, despite mounting evidence. And through all of it, the police continued their search. Now that the worst had been confirmed, all energy turned to tracking down the one person they believed responsible. Darnell was gone. But not for long. After days of evading authorities, Darnell's whereabouts were finally confirmed. He had fled Toledo and was hiding in the Victorian Village neighborhood of Columbus, Ohio, more than 2 hours away from the burned house where Kemani had been found. Police had already been tracking a vehicle linked to him, which had been abandoned and towed. But now, thanks to a tip from his own girlfriend, who received a call from him in Columbus, investigators had the lead.
Yeah, but her mom, though, her mom's questionable, Ashton Lee. You could say anything about any of these family members, and I wouldn't believe it. Her own mother wasn't even really a mother. So I mean, I would believe outside people. I would believe anybody else. I'd believe neighbors. I'd believe I'd believe schoolmates. I'd believe teachers over any of that family at this point. None of them have credibility here, in my opinion.
They needed. On Tuesday, March 25th, officers from the Columbus Police SWAT unit moved in. They spotted Darnell walking along a neighborhood street. According to police, when confronted, he brandished a firearm, and what happened next escalated quickly. Gunshots rang out. Darnell was struck multiple times and went down. He was rushed to Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, where he remained hospitalized but stable. But what shocked the public even more was what Darnell reportedly said afterward. Dorothy Latigue told reporters that after the shooting, Darnell confessed to sexual assault and cutting Kemani's throat. That grim admission aligned with the coroner's official report, which listed multiple incised wounds to the neck as the cause of death. At that moment, the search was over. But the grief and the questions were just beginning. With Darnell now in custody, the community expected swift legal action. But things didn't move as quickly as many had hoped. Due to the injuries sustained in the March 25th shooting, Darnell remained hospitalized. Though plans were made to arraign him while he recovered, those proceedings have been delayed indefinitely, and no timeline for extradition back to Toledo has been confirmed. As legal delays mounted, public frustration grew, especially after a comment made during a press briefing by Columbus Fraternal Order of Police President Brian Steele. He told reporters that Kemani had been nearly decapitated, sexually assaulted, and her hands dismembered. Details that had not been officially confirmed by the Toledo Police Department at the time.
And they still haven't really been talking about that. Everything you hear is kind of, and I'm not going to say downplay. Maybe it's a huge trigger warning, but that is what happened to her. And it makes me wonder if that was happening before, by her dad, by anybody else, what was happening in the household, because they played it down quite a bit, guys. So yeah, now, I mean, yeah, you heard that, and now you know. All right.
Time.
I received a call we never want to get. One of our officers was involved in a police-involved shooting. Immediately went to scene to speak to our officer, one of our SWAT officers, a dedicated officer, highly trained, as you know, our Special Operations Bureau, longtime member. He's okay. Thank God he's okay. When I heard about this case, this was an individual wanted for a homicide out of Toledo. I called my union counterpart in Toledo. I said, hey, good news, we have your guy. Your guy committed a murder, chose to fled to our town. I'll tell you right now, the wrong town to come to if you murder somebody. Our SWAT team will go out looking for you. This case is one of the most horrific cases I ever heard. This is a 14-year-old that was murdered, had her hands cut off, and her throat almost cut off. This is an absolute animal that came into our town. I understand some of your editors won't let you print the word animal or view the word animal. If people are more offended to how I'm describing him, how he treated that girl, that's on them, not on me. Again, I'm glad our officers are okay. Our SWAT are the best of the best. We just sent a message. You murder somebody, do not come to this town.
The reaction was immediate.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us are, right, Rachel? We watch this stuff every day. We watch this every day. And yet, the dysfunction, it seems to be like that with all of these cases. It's not like, people were just in such a happy place with their children and some outside person came along. The statistics show that the percentage of people that either take somebody's life or abuse them is higher, that it's somebody in your family that you know than it's somebody outside that you don't know, right? So yeah, he's a monster. Absolutely. Yeah, Jarvis Butts. I mean, that's Naziah. Justice for Naziah, justice for Maddie, justice for Kei'Mani, right? And I put Maddie right in that same category because I believe that we see the dysfunction a little bit different because of the way the family presents themselves, but it's all the same. Good night, sweetie. Thank you for being here. Yeah, that's appropriate. Oh man, I'm gonna go a little bit past this so we can get into some of this stuff.
Have accused her of knowing more than she admits, or even covering for Darnell Jones. The scrutiny intensified after she and Darnell appeared together on camera, pleading for the public's help in finding Kemani. That appearance, meant to unify the community, had the opposite effect. People began to question if she trusted Darnell, if she let him in the house, did she know what he was capable of? Some went even further, suggesting there was an intimate relationship between Dorothy and Darnell, despite no evidence to support such a claim. Then came the image that went viral. Dorothy being escorted from her home in handcuffs.
There it is, guys.
It looked like a clear-cut arrest, but it wasn't. Dorothy later explained in a news interview that she had requested to be handcuffed, hoping to calm the furious crowd that had gathered outside her home. She said the threats were escalating. People were shouting that they would blow up her house or harm her, and she thought being seen in cuffs might pacify the situation. Still, the damage had been done. Once that video hit the internet, speculation became gospel for some. Yes, it's true there were concerns about Kemani's safety while in Dorothy's care. Yes, it's true that CPS visited the home. But as of now, there is no public evidence connecting Dorothy to the crime that took Kemani's life, or suggesting any relationship beyond family ties.
Now, did you guys see the body cam? I don't know how many are in here, but what's up, Misty Free Spirit? Good to see you. Roll in. It's okay if you're late. I don't know if you guys saw any of that. There's 222 people in here, guys. We're at 2 hours. Say a prayer for Kemani that she gets justice. Darnell gets what he deserves. I mean, for this type of crime, I don't know what the consequences are in Ohio. I don't know. I don't even think there's a death penalty. I'm not sure. I don't hear much about that, but you guys let me know. Let me know if there's a death penalty. What's the maximum penalty in that area? Is it life in prison without parole? But that's what that guy needs, and they need to look further into other crimes that he committed. So there is the death. Yeah, there's a death penalty. That's a death penalty case right there, in my opinion. Thank you, Mara. I appreciate you guys. I have some body cam that I can play for you after this. It's not very long, but it shows his arrest in case you haven't seen it. It's about 6 minutes long. So thank you guys for supporting the channel and being here. Mary Lou, good to see you. Justice for Kemani. Sin, thank you so much for the Guilty of Crime membership. And Misty Free Spirit, thank you. Yeah, definitely life without parole. You do have the death penalty.
It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to feel unsettled. But it's also okay to say, we don't know yet. And if Dorothy was involved in any wrongdoing, it will come out. This case is still under active investigation. Still, the scrutiny didn't stop there. As people processed the unanswered questions around Dorothy's involvement, deeper concerns emerged about the environment Kemani was living in and the systems responsible for safeguarding her.
Yeah, right.
Questions turned from what happened to what was allowed to happen. Was this household truly safe? Were red flags missed, not just by individuals, but by the systems meant to protect children like Kemani? Many viewers have asked, Is it even legal to leave a 13-year-old home alone overnight? Dorothy worked night shifts, and by her own account, Kemani was alone the night she disappeared. This revelation sparked widespread concern, especially after news broke that she had been afraid someone was trying to break in. Under Ohio state law, there is no specific age at which a child can legally be left home alone. The law leaves the decision to the parent or guardian's discretion, requiring them to evaluate the child.
I mean, if that's the least grandma did, I mean, that's still no kid wants to be home alone and everything. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand the family unit within all the women. You mean in this case, or what? I mean, there was grandma. I don't know how many children there were. It sounds like it was Kei'Mani and grandma, and nobody was there. You stayed alone at night, Wolfie? Man. All right.
Child's maturity, the safety of the environment, and the specifics of the situation. But the law is only part of the story. Local ordinances and child welfare agency guidelines may offer further considerations. And in Lucas County, where Kemani lived, Children's Services makes this clear. According to their own website, children have no magic age when staying alone suddenly turns safe. Your child's readiness for self-care depends on many factors, including the environmental circumstances of the situation, your child's level of maturity, dependability, and ability to make reasonable decisions, and your child's relationship to you. So while Dorothy's decision may not have violated any written law, it has raised important questions about judgment, supervision, and the gray areas where legality and safety don't always align. This doesn't mean the choice can't be questioned, just that, legally speaking, it's a gray area. And when tragedy strikes, even a legally permissible choice can feel deeply unsettling in hindsight. Whether or not Dorothy made the right decision that night is something only time and further investigation can truly reveal. But this case has left many asking, when it comes to protecting our most vulnerable, should the law be more clear? As viewers continue to process the heartbreaking loss of Kemani Latigue, many have raised questions about her biological mother, Tiara Caston, and her role in Kemani's life. Some commenters have claimed that Tiara hadn't seen her daughter in years. Others have assumed she abandoned custody or was completely out of the picture. But like much of this case, the truth is more nuanced and deeply personal. What we do know is that Kemani spent most, if not all, of her life in the care of others. First, she was raised by a godmother as an infant. Then, around the age of 8, she went to live with her maternal grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, where she remained for the next 5.5 years. Roughly a year before her death, Dorothy became Kemani's legal guardian, according to verified reports. At the time of her disappearance, Tiara did not have legal custody, though there are no public court records confirming whether her parental rights were ever formally terminated. However, Tiara and Kemani were not estranged. Kemani had just visited her mother on March 15th, only 2 days before she went missing. That visit had been arranged with Dorothy's permission, so while the full picture of their relationship remains private, we do know Tiara was part of Kemani's life, and that the grief of her loss hit her just as deeply as anyone else. When it comes to custody and connection, the legal record and the emotional truth don't always align. But what's clear is that Kemani's death shattered everyone who loved her. As the investigation continues, the house where Kemani's body was found remains a powerful symbol of the tragedy and of the urgency to ensure something like this never happens again. The burned and abandoned home on East Miami Street, already condemned before Kemani was discovered there, has become a gathering point for community grief. A makeshift memorial of flowers, candles, and handwritten messages grew outside its walls in the days that followed. But the city of Toledo has since announced plans to expedite the demolition of the structure, both for safety reasons and out of respect for the trauma associated with the site. To facilitate that process, officials requested that the memorial be moved across the street, ensuring that community members could continue to pay their respects without delaying the home's removal. The home may soon be gone, but its place in this story is permanent. The land where it stood now carries the weight of a community's sorrow and its resolve to demand better. So what does justice for Kemani really look like? For some, it means holding the person responsible fully.
All right, we're going to get to the body cam stuff, you guys. I hope you're still here. Get your energy back up. We've been here 2 hours. We're going to watch a body cam real quick. I'm trying to distract myself today because I started this live stream and I'm just a little bit irritated. I try to come here every day and cover a case, cover what we know best, the best and the most information that I have on the case is Madeline Soto. And I just found out today, you guys, and maybe I should tell you so you're aware of it too. There's a Reddit group that completely is targeting my channel, and I don't care about that, but they put my daughter up there, you guys. They put my freaking daughter. They put Reese up there, and they put some nasty hashtags underneath her. So I shouldn't even have known that, you guys. No offense to anybody that messaged me, but please don't tell me about things like that, because now I'm really going to be irritated all night. They completely started a Reddit thread called Guilty of Crime Snark, and they put my freaking daughter up there. Yes, M and Ashton and Savage. They put my fucking, I'm sorry, but that's crossing the line. Putting my daughter up there and then photoshopping some hashtags in there. Hashtag luscious lips. I mean, if I can get a hold of that person, I swear you guys know I don't put up with that. Yes, Misty and Suzanne, I am livid right now, and they have the audacity to be messaging me right now telling me I shouldn't have put the Madeline Soto shirt up for sale. First of all, I didn't put the Madeline Soto up for sale anywhere. The merchant, the person running the store put the shirt up because she thought she was doing something kind. And I asked her to take it down because they didn't want that. I did not put up the Madeline Soto shirt for sale. I did not put any of those up for sale. They didn't know. Tiff was new in here. She had no idea. We just started the merch store. And they did. They did. This person has been, I shouldn't even have known about this, but if you guys do Reddit, I'm like livid. I need to, they put my daughter up there. I know. I do want to contact an attorney. You're absolutely right. This person is literally talking to me right now saying, oh, you're threatening me. Threaten me. That's classy. I will get a lawyer. They're calling me classy, and they're talking to me right now. They're literally, their name is feral as fuck, and they're talking to me right now, telling me that I shouldn't have put Maddie shirts for sale. I'm going to put Maddie shirts for sale. So they're going to put my daughter up there. Unbelievable. Anyway, you guys, that's why Reddit is such a toxic place, because that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm over here trying to get justice for these children, and you got this group called Guilty of Crime Snark on Reddit. Yeah, they crossed the line by bringing my daughter into this, and they're on my every day. They watch me, and then they go post some nonsense over there. Blocking them is not going to do anything, Misty. Blogging them is not going to do anything. They're just taking my channel. They're listening, and then they went on to my personal page. And freaking no, I'm not giving them what they want, because I am going to get a lawyer, and I will sue them. They better take down my daughter's stuff. Yeah, you don't want me to have any more Red Bull, Carrie. You don't want me to have any more Red Bull. I'm livid right now. I'm livid that these people would put my daughter up there. So anyway, yeah, this is just I'm not happy about it, but I don't do Reddit either. But I got a message today, and yes, we need to know. Yeah, we do. We do need to know to do this. I'm not just going to block them. Had it been about me, guys, had it just been about me, I would be fine. You can call me anything you want. You can call me a grifter. You can call me, but you don't put my. It's beyond a troll, Misty. It's crossing the line. It's beyond a troll when they put your 10-year-old daughter up there. They pulled it off of one of my social media accounts, which leads me to believe it was someone that was on my channel before that knew my personal stuff. I never go on Reddit either, but somebody sent me a link today. It's not Jennifer Soto's family. It's not Jen Soto. It's a person that was harassing me for a while, and then somebody left my channel. So that being said, guys, we're here for Kei'Mani Latigue. This will make it to their stupid Reddit platform, which I don't care, but my daughter is off limit. So no, it's none of those people, It's none of those people. It's definitely one person that every day watches my channel, and has now brought that into it. They attack for everything I do. If I do this to my hair, they crop it out and they're like, she was fixing her hair today, or she said, I mean, it's literally, they don't have anything to do about my daughter. They've definitely crossed the line there. Yeah. I have an idea too, Sadie's mama. I do. It's beyond a troll, guys. It's beyond a troll. Yeah. She can get IP addresses, and all of the moderators are up there, which is very interesting that all the moderators are up there. So here it goes. I'll put it here. That way, if you guys do go on Reddit, you can flag them. You can, it's beyond immature though, Michelle. It's beyond immature. It's beyond a troll. It's beyond all that. It's illegal when you put somebody's daughter up there, and they said, oh, well, you put Maddie on your store and you're selling her shirts. But no, I didn't do that. We put that up there because she thought that was the right thing to do, and we said, let's pull it down. But we're covering justice for Maddie. Maddie is no longer alive, and we're trying to get justice for her. This is not my kid that's alive. That should not be on here at all. So yeah, I'm gonna put it down there so you guys can go over there and flag it and report it, so we can get that whole channel taken down. They crossed the line. Like, I don't care about them talking shit about me, guys, but I'm gonna put it up there for you guys. But take a look at this. They put my picture, one of my snapshots, and it's called Guilty of Crime Snark. And you can see all the moderators. I'm going to type it up for you so you can go over to Reddit, and please go over there and flag the channel. I will talk to a lawyer and find out, because that's not okay. It is, if they took it, if it's not there, ma'am, then it's there, because they're talking to me right now. They're literally talking to me, talking shit to me right now as I go. And I reached out to them. I asked them to not put my daughter into this. Guilty of Crime Snark. They have 77 members, and we have almost 24,000. So I think that this 24,000 group can get this 78 members. Oh, one other person joined, guys. It's right here. It's called Guilty of Snark, and Guilty of Crime Snark on Reddit. Who's talking to me? The moderator is talking to me right now. They're literally talking to me. There is digital fingerprints, guys. There is. So we have 24,000. We have 24,000 members here almost, and they have 78. Okay, so we need to get that channel down where they have this is war now. They can talk all the crap about me they want, but this putting my daughter into this, it's right here. The name is Feral AF. This is the person. It's Feral _AF, and they have 4 moderators there, guys. Thank you, Indy. I do want to, you found it, Jen's a Gypsy. Yeah, we need to get this channel taken down, guys. We need to get it taken down. This is beyond me. So they want to have a war between 24,000 and 78 people. They've got it. I'm going to tell everyone to go over to reddit.com, Guilty of Crime Snark. And yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. I just flagged it. I think they took it down, didn't show a picture of your daughter on here with the dogs. They might have gotten it. No, they got it from my Instagram, ma'am. They got it from my Instagram. And then they put nasty hashtags under my daughter. This is not okay. Yeah, this is not funny, not okay. It's not a troll. I'm like literally livid. Reese started crying when she found out. I told her she could not come behind me or on members only, and she started crying. Yeah, this is a cyber crime. This is absolutely a cyber crime to do something like that. Yeah, Rosie, I'm getting blasted for the Maddie tease. Trying to profit off of a dead girl. I don't profit off of anybody. So Chatterbox is who for hire. Yeah, we need to get it taken down, guys. Yeah, you're right. They have taken it down, but still an act of war. You're absolutely right. I'm not gonna, who owns Reddit? I don't know, but this is these people are, they've crossed the line. They've crossed the line. Period. It's a legal issue. It's harassment. I was gonna not say anything this show. But you know what? I am going to, because I'm livid right now, guys. It's not okay. It's one thing. yeah, it's one thing for somebody to be mad at me, but it's another thing to be spreading my personal pictures with my daughter and putting stuff like that. That's another thing. Yeah, I have screenshots of everything. I showed my daughter and she started crying because I was like, you cannot come behind me when I'm filming because people, it's harassment. It's beyond, guys. So yeah, if that pops up, socialmediavictims.org, cyberbullying, I don't care if you guys want to, anybody wants to throw a shot at Jay from Guilty of Crime, but do not bring my family or my child into that. Like, this is, we talk every day, guys. It is up. I told you it's up. It's not down. It's all up. Every day they put something nasty about me, but they crossed the line. They crossed the line. It doesn't matter about the Reddit policies. Since the Reddit policies don't mean anything, they keep on still doing that. All right. So these, I mean, we need to go, everybody go over there and blast them and flag that channel. They have 78 followers. Okay. They can keep opening channels and I'm going to keep getting them taken down. Serena Williams' husband owns Reddit. That's funny. All right. And Sharon, I'm with you. I'm with you right there. I'm with you. I absolutely, that started coming hardcore, and my personal information that nobody else had or knew started coming. And you tell one person one thing and it comes out. I'll leave that up there because you know that. Oh, they're already watching. Of course they're watching. They do every day. Every day they say something messed up. But when I come across Reese in there and the shit that they said, that's a crime. That's a crime. It is. It's funny. Did you see that? It's funny until you start bringing my daughter into it. That's not funny. We're sitting here advocating for children that are dead and there's crimes against them. That's what we do here. But I'm not going to let a crime be against my daughter that's a freaking live. I'm not going to do that. I won't do that. It's totally different what I'm doing. So it's not one person, Clark. There's 4 of those people there. There's 4 or 5 of them. They have like 4 to 6 people running that page, Clark. All right. No, I know. I of course not. But they went to my personal page, Marilyn. So everybody go over there, please, and go flag that channel. All right. Yeah. Horrible people. They want to sit there and talk. I don't even need a lawyer fund, girl. I have a lawyer fund. All right. They just need to not do that. So we need to get them taken down. If you guys can go over there and flag the crap out of the page, don't start anything with them. Just make sure that you flag them for harassing and bullying. All right. You can't find it. I'm going to put you a link, Wyatt. It's literally reddit.com and it's Guilty of Crime. And now they're getting free whatever advertisement, but it's okay because I'm gonna get it flagged. No, maybe they did take it down. Just go check it out. Reported the photo. See, you saw that too then. All right, so that's it, guys. I am going to take care of it. I'm not going to sit there and be like, I advocate for children every day, but I'm going to let you do that to my child. No, it's not happening, guys. Not happening. So I still have 220 people here. I don't want to rush off and be pissed off. So I'm going to play this. Hopefully you guys stick around for a little bit. I'm very transparent with you guys, but there's things that are off limits. All right, let's watch this together. What happens to Kmani's dad, Darnell Jones?
Where, man?
Don't do it.
What's your name?
Kill me.
Dude, show me your fucking hands right now.
Me, bro.
Pull your fucking hand out of your. I swear to God, pull your.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Dennis in a second. Get medic, bro.
Don't fucking move.
Don't move. All right, suspect down. All you guys are okay.
Don't move. He's got 33 right there.
What?
33 in his hands. No,
What?
it's a walkie-talkie, but there are 33s right here. Don't you move or you're going to get shot, okay? All right?
Thank you, guys.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah, what's your question, Julie?
That's him. Somebody get on the main air. Get us a medic.
I'm working on it.
All right, on your belly. All right. I got cuffs. There you go. Thank you, brother. We'll get you help, okay?
I just want to die, bro.
No, I know, but we can't allow that.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't want to live.
Get us some scissors. Secure this scene. All right, who fired?
Him in the car.
He did too. I think you did. I did not. Okay, he did. Okay, you good?
All right.
You good? All right.
I know.
All right.
Listen to me.
Yes,
Listen,
there
I gotta
is.
roll you off. I gotta get you up on your side, okay? I gotta get you up on your side. I got you. All right. Where you hit at, bro?
I don't know. All in my leg.
All in your leg.
It's all hit right here.
I know he's hitting his arm once.
Oh my God.
Need a medic here now. Where's
your
I know
family?
they're coming. Okay, we got him. He's hit once in the arm. All right, he's hitting the side here. Yep, you're hitting the side. Okay, you'll be fine. Hey, look. You know what's good about this?
What?
Sit up. Okay, you're gonna be fine.
I can't move my leg.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
I think they're broke.
Where do you guys need us?
There you go. How's that?
They broke.
Okay.
I can't get up.
Okay, we're gonna leave you sit here like this. Take a deep breath.
Copy that.
Do me a favor. Take a deep breath for me, okay? Hey, move your car. Block that road. You're on shell cases. Get that road blocked. We can't let you down. Okay, you gotta stay up.
You guys, it's not a download, but if you guys can't find it, that's okay too. I'm not going to advertise it so people go on them and give them other things. And I'm not going to show the picture I have. I have it right here on my phone, guys. They put a picture of her with a dog face and they put nasty ass hashtags on it. I'm telling you, like, it's beyond being a troll at this point, and you don't have to download it. But if you don't know how to get to Reddit, it's probably better that you don't. If you have read it, I would love for you to do what Monique did, report it and flag them for harassment. I mean, this is beyond. This is not like a little bit of bullying on the playground where we can go back and forth with each other as adults. This is literally you attacking my family. And I'm not going to put up with that for Madeline Soto or Kmani or Sebastian. I'm sure not going to put up with that with my own family. That's not going to happen. All right. It's not. So I saw it. I have it on my phone. I'm not going to show it again. Kids are absolutely off limits. Absolutely. I'm livid right now. I'm not worried about being dangerous to me. I'm worried about my daughter. Absolutely off limits. I'm very I don't even know what to say right now.
I'll hold you up. All right. You just relax. Lean back into there. There you go. You're going to be fine. Listen, hey, nothing's ever that bad, all right?
It is.
Okay, well. Darnell, right? Do you have anything else on you? Do you have any more guns? Yes? Where's the guns at? Where's the other gun at? I don't. Darnell. Hey. Sorry. Darnell. Do you have anything else on you? Yeah, you said you had a gun. I don't. I think he's just fading. I don't know. Nope. Just stay back, okay, please? Stay back. Hey. Okay. We're making good witnesses. You're fine, ma'am. You're fine. We got to get him searched. The medic's going to take him. I know. Hey, you guys just go chill
somewhere else.
And they should, guys. We have almost 24,000 subscribers over here, and they have 78 people, and they're over there attacking me on a daily basis. They absolutely should be making it private, and they should be concerned because I don't care what amount of money. I will spend whatever amount of money to sue somebody and let them just to walk in court and see them in court. They just don't understand who I am. They think that I'm somebody that's just over here talking about justice for the children, but I won't have justice for my own children. There's something seriously wrong with these people. They have no idea, guys. Like, I don't just say this stuff. I really live it every single day. So I'm not joking. I'm not playing. I don't play with my daughter's emotions or her life or my privacy. I don't. Yeah, it's an attack on an innocent child. It's not even about me anymore. It's absolutely disgusting. And I can and I will press charges. I've got it all down. I'm letting you guys know that when I tell you guys I'm going to go to Florida to the Stephen Stearns trial, when I'm here fighting for justice for Maddie, Kmani, Sebastian, I'm not just here behind a screen telling you what you guys want to hear. I'm telling you the things that I really am going to do. That's what I do. I don't play that stuff. I don't mess around like that. I'm not behind a screen and just telling you guys bullshit. So I'm livid right now. And the audacity for them to sit there and message me back and tell me, "Oh, you're selling justice for Maddie shirt." What the fuck? That has nothing to do, and I'm not, by the way. Oh, I'm so mad. Absolutely disgusting.
Hey, have that cruiser start getting scene tape. Let the mannequin. Step back. They're fine. It's fine.
Good. Good.
Yeah, we need a cart. We need a cart. Cart. I know. Stay with me, bro. Keep talking to me, guys. Dave.
Yes.
511. If anyone is listening at home.
So listen, I actually thought he didn't have a gun at first, but he actually does have a gun, and he did that to provoke the officers, guys. He literally did that so he would get shot. He didn't want to deal with the repercussions of what he did to Kmani. And I appreciate you, Marilyn. Yeah, everybody that's upset about this, I'm glad that you guys are here having my back. I wasn't going to say anything, but they messaged me and started saying stuff and justifying that about my daughter. No, that's not. But yeah, he wanted to go out by the police. Yeah, he didn't want to deal. Can you imagine going to court and being this guy? Can you imagine going and seeing the pictures of what you did to your daughter? Yeah, Leo butt bullying. Don't mess with women's kids, y'all. What the fuck is wrong with you, low life targeted child? Yeah, they just don't know who they're messing with. That's why they just don't realize that. They don't understand. Like they literally don't understand, and it's not a threat.
Officer support. Sit here, legs, arms.
So he's literally dying right now. I'm gonna lower the volume for you guys so I can tell you what's happening. Okay. So he pulled a gun out on them, and he knew that if he did that, he would get shot. And he's like, "I'm dying. Just let me die," is what he's saying. It's hard to hear because it's so loud.
We're gonna roll you over one more time.
I got the full audio over there.
Clean up. There you go. He's hitting
There's blood
arm,
everywhere.
leg, arm, and I believe left chest. Okay.
Yeah.
I get a good search on him. I am. Everything's got to come off. You taking him down enough in this? Yeah. All right. That's fine. Pull this. All right.
Yeah.
Cut stuff off. Cut your gun. You have to help us lift? Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Down. We're down. Hold on. Just stare at it. I'm good. Hey, don't move your arm. I know it hurts. They're going to help you, okay? Well, we're not trying to hurt you. We're not trying to.
Yeah, this guy is her biological dad, and he raped her, guys. That's what he did. He probably did it in a brutal way too. We don't know because we don't get to hear about when it's a child. We don't hear all the information. We're not privy to the autopsy and the toxicology, but I bet he did something terrible to her in order to make him do what he did in the way he took her life. All right. Yeah, thank you, Marilyn. You guys know. You've been here long enough to know who my world is, right? You guys know who my world is. If people like this are trash. This guy did what he did to his daughter. No wonder he wants to die.
Kill you. No, we're not going to take it off your arm, okay? They're going to cut it off in just a second.
All right, so we've been here for a long time, guys. I was trying to really just get my mind off. I was already doing the Kei'Mani case today, and I have so much information, folks, so much. But then I'm like, all right, I don't want to be all rampant and go out there and take out bad energy. So yeah, they've never ran up against a badass mama bear. Obviously not. Yeah, don't mess with her, kids. The devil's at work. You guys see that. You guys see all that. And thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Tomorrow, Wolfie says, woo, it's been an emotional show. Yeah, I'm glad there was only 212 people in here. Right. Well, there's 212 people now, but I'm glad there wasn't a ton of people. I mean, if this were the Madeline Soto case, I wouldn't do this with 800 or 1,000 people. I wouldn't do it on here. But yeah, so we're gonna take care of this. I'm gonna go love on my daughter, hug her, and go talk to her, guys. So you guys, thank you for being here. Clementine, Jenza Gypsy, Indy. If you're still here, I think Tiff took off. Tiff thought I was mad at her. Tiff could feel it through the internet, and I'm not mad at anybody except that group. So I hope that it is. They forgot about 6 foot. Yeah, I know. We got Foxy Amazon, 6 foot, 275 security guard. I love it. Do we have any bobbleheads to give away? Now would be a good time for a giveaway, man. So I just shipped out somebody's shirt, but and what do you call that? The other one didn't get gone. Oh, all right. So let's deal with this. I ship the long sleeve shirt to who was it? Oh, Overprotected, guys. Tomorrow we'll come back. We'll do something really cool. We can do a bobblehead. Woofy, you want to try to win a bobblehead real quick? And yeah, there's get back here, Tiff. I should call Tiff up and get her back. Let's do a bobblehead real quick, guys. We have some that did not get claimed. I love giving out shirts, but the shipping, man, the shipping is always a pain. I don't know why, but I did ship it today. I did ship it. Let's do one right now, guys. You guys have to be here to win it, and let me pull it up, and we're gonna give something away right now. I have a bunch of stuff to give away, by the way. I have a ton of different shirts that came my way. I still have the Madeline Soto ones that I bought for the bench, and the ones I bought for the bench, I can't wear all those, guys. But I never win for doing anything nice. Never win for doing a good deed, right? All right, you guys are here. I see Julie. Julie says she's here. So if you're here, you could win. Let's go, Foxy. And confirm and start. All right, there you go. Somebody's gonna win. Michael Bask is here. All right, Brightfoot. Where you at, Brightfoot? Where you at? All right, where you at, Brightfoot? If you're here, let me know. If you're here, let me know. All right, is Brightfoot here? Liz is here. Where's Brightfoot, guys? If Brightfoot doesn't come up, we're gonna do it again. Because you know why? Because Foxy has a bunch of stuff that's unclaimed, you guys. And if you guys aren't here to claim it, then I can't give it away. So I'm gonna give you a minute. What do you think, Foxy? What do you think? Should I run another one? Or do you want to just, if Brightfoot doesn't do it, All right. I don't default. I win by default. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I don't know. Where are you, Foxy? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to run it again if Brightfoot's not going to get it and we have a bunch of stuff or what? Yeah, I do. I do too. And I'm going to check on her in a second. But all right, I'm going to go ahead and if they come on, I'll still give one. But I don't know where Brightfoot was here earlier. All right, let's try one more because a lot of people people didn't claim the shirt yesterday, guys. Nobody claimed that Jen Soto, the funny prison for Jen Soto shirt. And like, I want to give it out, man. Come on. Come on, let's go. All right, Juliet Harley. I saw Juliet Harley here all show. Juliet, are you here? All right. Juliet here, guys. Marcy's like, I'm here. All right, Juliet. Well, congratulations, guys. I'm going to put guilty of prizes at gmail.com, right? Guilty of prizes at gmail.com, guys. Congratulations. If somebody does not get that shirt tomorrow, guys, if you guys do not claim that Jen Soto shirt, I am going to re-give it away. Okay, guys? Because I don't like things sitting there. So Juliet, she won. Thank you. You're here. Guilty of prizes at gmail.com. Go ahead and send that over to Foxy. Send her your address and she'll ship you your prize. Nobody claimed the Jen Soto shirt, guys. The guilty or 2025 prison. All right. So, there's another one that I can give away. If you guys don't claim that by tomorrow, I'm going to give it away. Brightfoot's not here. So, Juliet, we have Foxy boxes and there's a Foxy bauble. We've been giving prizes away on Guilty of Crime, different t-shirts, Foxy boxes that are a surprise. She's got a Foxy bauble. Trust me, you're going to want all this stuff. All these, they're really cool. She calls it a Foxy bauble. So there you go. If you send it over to guiltyofprizes at gmail.com, I promise, Juliet, we're not going to spam you or use your email and sell it to anyone. All right. All right. I love you guys. Thank you, Marilyn. I'm going to go hang out with Reese now and have a talk with her. I love each and every single one of you. I will see you tomorrow. You're so very welcome, Juliet. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for supporting the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. And let's not let anybody mess with either Guilty of Crime, our family, our kids. Let's give justice to those that need it now, not just the ones that aren't here anymore. Okay, guys? So we're not just fighting for people that are gone and don't have a voice. We want to fight for those that are still here and make sure that we do the right thing. Love you and see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Guilty of Crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of Crime.
Are you guilty of crime?